All right. See, you can come on in, Puff. Let me throw the link up there. I don't want to block my screen. Yeah, I got to wake up a little bit. You know, I made coffee and I never actually poured a cup, so I'm going to do that real quick. Um, you know, if I could take money, my money's on Jill won't come in, but anybody can come in. And yeah, I definitely would like to talk about the shooter because I feel like I need a lot more information than what I have. Puff might have met later, but like Jill was all itching to come in. So where you at, Jill? Make sure that the wife is nice and chained up. Like, here, let's turn this off first. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Jill is like a serial killer, a white serial killer. I could just like do what I was doing until somebody shows up. Cause like I'm all OCD about it now. Um, I won't self harm myself though. I should have it over there though, not over here, and I could see when somebody actually comes in. Maybe I think it's supposed to notify you now, but I'm kind of half deaf. It better be loud. What's up, y'all? I see Robin is here. Kent Hoven's always here. Jill ain't here. I've been like looking forward to catching up with good old Jill. You know, like I assume that the fascist I've known for the longest would probably be having a good time in for the last 6 months, especially. And I've been gone for over a year, so I would like his positive energy to infuse with my celestial being. Oh shit. All right, what was I doing? I wonder like I'm like 2 views away from like 41K with the evangelical rapist. And I'm not saying anybody should go and give me that view because the audio is horrible. And the lighting is horrible. And it's like one of the first videos I ever made on the Raging Atheist. Um and it's always been just like my number one video the entire time of the channel, and it's like one of the worst videos I've ever made. Like seriously, it's rookie shit. But I'm wondering, like, if I did it, could I get my 41K? You know, I don't. I would hope it doesn't work like that, right? Like, I would hope it doesn't work like that. But YouTube is all fucked up and has been for a decade. So, um, You know you're a stoner when you can't remember what you were doing 10 minutes ago before the troll in your chat got you thinking you wanted to have an open room because it was easier on the other format. Which I know Puff will come in eventually, so I'll just hang out until he does. Or you know what? Instead of that, we can try to catch up, like maybe get some information. Like I tried to like actually get some information. But I didn't really seem to find much more than what I already knew, and the language that like in the articles I was reading was like very vague. So I'm like, I don't know what happened between yesterday and today, but everybody was talking neo-Nazi today. With no alcohol. Holy shit, Mater saves. Me too. Oh, Missing Mod has a really good room going on, looks like. Wonder what's going on over there. I can't snipe their channel. Jill is over in Missing Mod's channel. Are you fucking kidding me? Hey, what's up, Robin?
They not.
Yeah, Jill's over in Missing Mod's channel. Arguing with Jay.
Yeah, he'll be back. Oh,
Asshole.
I just wanted to bring some statistics to this conversation.
Okay.
Um, since 1966 to 2024, 53% of all mass shootings have been committed by white males.
Mm-hmm.
And 21% have been committed by black males. And 98% of all mass shootings are by males. So
yeah, that's the statistic I saw was 98% are male.
Yeah, so the fact that an occasional trans person is mixed up in that, um, especially with all the hatred and um, just stress being put on their life. They're losing their rights. They're being persecuted. They're like some people are just talking about erasing them or putting them in camps or um, so it's a stressful time to be a trans person, I would say. I have many trans friends, and I know it's very stressful for them. And um, I know a lot of people think that it's a mental illness, but it's not. But that doesn't mean that trans people cannot have mental illnesses. Those are not mutually exclusive. So, I mean, they can be like anybody else. There's a mental illness crisis in the United States right now, anyway, amongst all demographics of people. But
yeah, and you never know the backstory, especially in a situation like the Catholic Church, not to bring up, like their sex scandals, but like when it comes to like shootings in a Catholic Church, one of the first thoughts is always like, okay, what happened, right? It's not always one of the first thoughts isn't always, oh, just a madman, like it's like, oh, did something happen here 20, 30 years ago that might have caused this, right? So you always have that, you have that thought. But from what I found out about the shooter today, and I could be wrong, but this is what I'm like finding out, and it's coming from like different people are saying this pretty much the same thing, is that this person actually had started retransitioning and seems to be a victim of extreme like right-wing indoctrination, from what people are saying, like even Nick Fuentes is like, yeah, he's a Nazi.
Yes, he was. He hated everybody, Jews,
Yeah.
black people. I mean, he definitely was not pro-trans. He did, like, he changed. As far as I know, the only thing I know that he changed was their name. Like they
Yeah,
changed
yeah,
the name from Robert to Robin.
yeah, and
And
that's the thing. Because and that was when I was confused when I heard detransitioning. Well, like I wasn't, and I don't know this person, but like I wasn't under the until the detransitioning was said. I wasn't under the assumption that there was any transitioning, but from it might have just been like no longer identified as she, but now identifies as he. But
yes,
yeah, just pretty much hated everybody, and from how they described like the ideology uh, of it, it sounds like this group that I had covered several times. I don't know if I'm gonna try to get into my log and find them. If I can just find the name of the group, because I have actually I've interviewed. I can't remember the dude's name. He used to come on the channel every once in a while, but he used to be in this group, and it was a particular atheist neo-Nazi group, and they were particularly violent and chaotic. So I'm like, it sounds a lot like this group, and that's what I want to know if it was, because if it is, then this doesn't surprise me at all.
yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard. I guess. I mean, I know he attacked the Catholic school, but what was he supposed to be an atheist? I mean, I don't know. I
Well,
hadn't.
I'm not sure. It's just the messaging on one of the guns kind of indicated to me that maybe definitely no belief in God anymore, at least.
Okay. Well, I mean that he obviously had something against the Catholic Church or whatever. It seems like, but it I don't know these people. I've tried to figure it out, and one thing I've been upset about is they keep using his name, and I thought we had kind of agreed as society that not to use their name like after these shootings to because that's what they usually are wanting the to be famous or and so it seems like that the media has definitely you know dropped that ideal and go ahead and give them the infamy that they wanted.
Yeah, well, I think it depends. Like, I'm not surprised they're doing that, because I know like they're itching to push the transgender narrative, because most of our media, like even the media that is supposed to be left leaning, have shifted with the Overton window right along. So I mean, I don't know, like the whole thing seems weird, and it doesn't seem like there's enough information, and I'm not finding this freaking group, and the fact that I can't remember the name of it really bothers me, because this is one of the groups like I spend a lot of time researching.
So you say it was an atheist group, and
Yeah.
Bond. I mean that was something that
And there's not many of them. Like, there's not many atheist neo-Nazi groups, because usually they associate themselves with some form of deep evangelical Christianity.
that was something though that it was discussed a lot. Do you remember them discussing not giving out their names? I mean, because that's part
Yeah.
of and that's part.
Well,
No,
I don't. The right wing, I think they are just increasingly shittier and shittier and shittier. So yeah, like, it just doesn't surprise me that they're putting the name up. It wouldn't really surprise me because I see the picture of the shooter on Facebook all the time, and like I've been complaining about how it seems like Facebook seems to be pushing my algorithm on Facebook, and I'm a very vocal anti-Trump person on Facebook, and nobody reads it. Like, nobody reads my shit. My family can't stand it. The only people that really read my shit are a couple of my cousins and the people that came from here. So like, but they're pushing all right wing stuff at me, and I see the shooter's picture all the time, the shooter's name all the time, and usually in sites like Conservative Tribune or some bullshit site like that.
yeah,
And they really want to push that narrative, but they can't, because the whole neo-Nazi thing. And I think that if they're smart, they can't, because like CJ Cox today is, and Asmongold is another one. I covered him at the very beginning of that stream earlier before I started working on my channel again. Asmongold yesterday was saying like, maybe it's time to stop, ban transgenderism in America, something along those lines. I don't want to it was something along those lines. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
correct myself, and it's like, wait a minute, like most shooters are, the majority of shooters are right-wing young white men, but like pretty much all of these shooters are like white are men.
And
So like,
cis
are we
men.
gonna ban
Yeah.
men because of this, or your logic makes no fucking sense? And CJ Cox, who I had always like, and to my credit, like when I first met CJ Cox, he was still a little baby, and now he's grown up into a full grown bigot. But it's like I've literally watched him become a Matt Powell clone, because he's on he's on my Facebook, and I see his post about like, it's time to ban transgender people, and they're not. I don't want to misquote him, but
Yeah, most of them
it's really fucking sad to see people that I thought were moderate not so.
Most of them are cis men. It just gets more attention with the. I mean, I think the bigger problem is letting 18-year-old men or boys have access to legal guns. I mean, I know that the Second Amendment is a thing. I'm a gun owner, but we also know that men don't mature at 18 years old. Probably women don't either, but women aren't. So women probably aren't standing in line to buy legal guns at 18 either. A whole bunch of them aren't. So, I mean, I think we just need to address who we let buy guns. Like what kind of, but they don't like the shooter down in Texas that time. He had all kinds of stuff in his juvenile record, but because he had turned 18, none of that stuff was available to anybody. When it came time for him to purchase a gun, that was like it was all just deleted. But going back, if they had access to his juvenile record, it would have showed that he had a lot of mental problems, a lot of behavioral issues and stuff. And the laws seem to protect the people who want to buy guns and kill people with them, and nobody else.
Yeah, and I wish that people had to wait till they were 18 before they could get a gun. That would be a good first step, because like, I grew up in North Carolina. I could, parents can give their kids guns. Like, I think it's like even like a tradition in America. A lot of families, you might be getting your first gun 6-7 years old as a boy in America. At least when I was growing up, down in North, it wasn't even necessarily a North Carolina thing, because my dad hunted before we moved to North Carolina. He was just a hunter, and he liked guns, and he's always had a gun cabinet. I was never really interested in them, but it was like, especially down in the Bible. I always assumed it was like the Bible Belt, but in North Carolina, like it's a pretty big thing. Like when you're learning to shoot, 6-7 years old, but you can't legally drink until you're like 18, 21, and you can't smoke cigarettes until you're 18, but you can go out and murder an animal.
That group you were talking about wouldn't be creativity, would it?
Yes. I kept saying creationists, the creativity movement. Yes.
The World Church of the Creator. Why an atheist group is called the World Church of the Creator is kind of strange. But it said it was founded in 1973. Is an openly racist and white supremacist movement that advocates for a non-theistic, atheistic worldview.
Yep, of all white people.
It frames its anti-Semitism and racism within a philosophical framework of religious naturalism that rejects traditional deities. And the group is explicitly anti-Christian.
They are fucked up people. And this shooter, it reminds me of that group. So I'm wondering if he hadn't gotten sucked into that ideology. And it's really unfortunate, because a lot of people, especially now, are getting, so once you start going down a rabbit hole, and that was like their great success back in the 2015 2016 era, the Gamergate era, the alt-right meme war that was waged. Like I talk about this a lot because I don't think people talk about it enough. You know, people that were there and experienced, and I had just started YouTube at the very end of it, but I had started watching YouTube during it. And you know, like the alt-right, which was basically those skinhead neo-Nazis that had rebranded and just grew their hair out. It took off the punk rock, you know, gear and threw on a business suit. They won that meme war, and they sucked these people down this right-wing rabbit hole back in 2016 that had pretty much been dug by the regression of the Republican Party, like the god awful conservatism of Newt Gingrich to the Tea Party to what now is Trumpism as a direct result of that meme war victory that they had. And that's how Richard Spencer came to the limelight. That's how Nick Fuentes is actually having dinner at the White House with the president of the United States when he's a known white supremacist. Like, we live, when they say make America great again, they're talking about 1861, before the Civil War.
Yeah. And Trump thinks that we were the richest country back then. That, you know, of course, he doesn't know anything about the Civil War. I mean, he thought that we had airports in the Revolutionary War. So he's kind of screwed up in his history. He's really bad at it. But like after the Civil War and everything that the Republicans did up until the Great Depression is what caused the Great Depression. So,
yeah, and as far as I understand it, it was really like an extreme tariff policy that caused the Great Depression. It's what I was trying to explain to Smokey Saint, who was in my side chat earlier, because
yes.
Smokey seems like critical sometimes, or at least what I saw, the little bit that I saw, he was being critical of Trump. But then in my side chat, just like talking up these tariffs, and I'm like, dude, like every single time, like we have like one of these extreme tariffs policies in America, it's been disastrous. And like the Great Depression is like the greatest, you know, example of that. So, it's like, if you think that, you know, mass tariffs like this is going to like somehow bring back industries that just don't exist. Like, I'm a poor dude. I wish they did, but they don't. And it's probably better that we're actually, that, you know, at the end of the manufacturing line than at the beginning, you know, if you really look at it along those lines. So yeah, it just doesn't seem like that's ever going to happen. And this is more about just like a massive wealth distribution. That's the thing. It's the thing that they say us socialists want to do. We want to redistribute wealth from the top to the bottom. Well, we do, because we should. And they're doing the opposite right now. And that's the whole goal, is just to make everybody poor so they can be as rich as fucking possible.
See, I'm not really a socialist, I don't guess. I mean, I think that, I think that,
but not many people in America are.
Yeah, I think we do. I think capitalism does real well if it's regulated good. You know, and it's like we after World War, the Great Depression, we set about raising the tax rate for, you know, the wealthy and everything, and we were on a good trajectory of more, you know, economic equality, and now it's just been shot all to hell with
well, I mean, I would say like Marx kind of predicted that, though. You know, and the longer we ignore Marx's predictions, the longer we'll kind of have to suffer the end of capitalism. See, I don't really have any beef with capitalism within itself, because I think it's done a lot of great things for humanity. Like, I don't think anybody can argue like, oh my God, like I wish I'd lived back in 1540, right? Like I kind of like ice. You know, ice is pretty cool. You know, being able to have cold beverages is a great luxury. In 1540, there wasn't none of that. You know, like, so.
Yeah, and not die from the Black Plague, which we have.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's just like this weak analogy. Just now imagine what else you wouldn't have in that year, right? So, yeah, I think capitalism has done what it's done, and you know, like any major economic system, doomed to die, like everyone before it. and just like socialism will be once we move to the correct form of it. And I'm not even saying Marx had the correct form of it. I'm saying we are going to decide whatever that form is, and whatever that form is, it's going to come sooner or later whenever we decide we've had enough.
Well,
Whatever it is, whatever we call it, it doesn't have to be socialism, but capitalism is going to die. It's just not working anymore.
Our president now, made sure the United States owns 10% of Intel stock, which is socialism, to purchase, for the state to own.
And I read a really good argument. It's pretty much what it's pretty much the fascist playbook, and it's great. It really lays it out because it's what they do. They really incorporate a little bit of both, right? Like you got to incorporate that socialism. The state must be everything, right? We're talking 1984 George Orwell. The state must be everything, and Orwell was going after the communists in his book. But when it comes to fascism, your leader is everything, and your leader must want everything. That's at least in my opinion. So, and I think that's what we're seeing is this. Like Trump just can't really have enough. And the great article about it is, if I can correlate it, is, and I lost it. What was your point again?
I was saying that Trump, like, by buying into Intel, by the United States buying into Intel, that is, that's what socialism is. Like, I mean, he only owns 10%, or that we only own 10%, but that's what it means to buy into the means of production for the state to own it. It's socialism. So that's a very socialist policy that he took up there. I don't hear you.
Oh, stupid button. Yeah, and that's what fascism is and what every fascist does immediately is they start buying into the private equity, and because the fascists must own everything, they just must have everything. So it's a little bit of socialism, a little bit of hardcore, like fucking just authoritarianism all mixed together. They'll usually incorporate socialism in a way as they're going to improve things, or they're going to they got to have like the natural resources they need for strategic supply, and that's what they're doing with Intel. It's all an attempt to be able to build the processors here, because they're really worried about our processors being made in China.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably something we should have thought about well before now. But yeah, I kind of agree with that, and it seems like that Trump is wanting to pick a fight with China for sure. I don't know why, but he does. And, he's anti-war, but he's definitely got more people hating us across the world than ever before.
All right, this might get interesting. I've been thinking about this since me and Puff talked last night, Smokey, if I'd have you in. We'll see how this goes. What's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. I'm tired.
Yeah. I heard you say last night, like, you have to wake up at like 2 a.m. to go to work. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah. I'm used to it. No, actually, I like it. I just wish I could, I don't know, somehow not sleep.
As part of it is maintaining that schedule too, because it's easy to kind of, especially because when you have a lot of people in your life that don't keep that kind of schedule, it's hard to keep it for yourself. So it can wear at you. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I'm usually pretty good about going to bed at about 6:30. So staying up to like 10 is it's a brutal mistake, you know.
Yeah, no, I follow you. Yeah, no, I lived that life for a minute, so I know what you're talking about.
I try to tell people it's like 4 p.m. and they're living their lives, and I'm like, yeah, it's nighttime.
And they try to make it sound like you're old or something because you need to go to bed early.
Oh yeah, and I'll fall out like right away as soon as I lay down. I'm fucking out, man.
Right? Totally. Yeah, no, I didn't come in to poke at you or start shit. I actually just came in to kind of say hi and kind of say I'm glad you're back. You look like you're well, which I'm kind of happy for.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, I appreciate it. I was surprised when I came back and you were around again. You know, I wasn't expecting that. I expected like to see you in the side chat and stuff, but
well, yeah. I mean, I really was kind of around the whole time. It's just I wasn't doing my own content. I was just doing basically like shows whenever Will was doing them because I was focusing on other stuff and getting business streamlined. And of course, now I'm planning a family and planning to get a ceremony done, getting married. Basically, got all the paperwork done, and now it's just kind of doing the plans for the ceremony. So life just took different turns, and this is where I'm at. So but now I'm ready to kind of come back and start doing a little more of my own kind of content stuff instead of just kind of just jumping in whenever Will was doing something, which wasn't always frequently. You know what I mean?
So you're just like recently back.
Like in terms of doing my own content, yeah, since like the last.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I had talked to you a couple times, during that whole period.
Oh yeah. I was around. I just wasn't doing my own content. I was focusing on other things. But yeah, about like end of April, I started doing my own content again.
All right, that makes sense. So, all right, and it's Smokey Saint polemics, right?
Polemics, yeah.
But the things that I've seen is like you on Brett Keen's channel.
Well, recently, yeah, Brett and I have kind of been doing a little more collaboration on a few things, and yeah, he's come around a few shows and stuff, and yeah, he's been around. So yeah, he's been kind of part of the mix, and Praise has kind of come back around. It's a whole thing. I don't know if you want me to go into all of it, but there was a lot of animosity and enemies directed at me when I kind of first came back, most of which I've converted onto my side, except for this little pocket that just wants to vehemently try to continue to justify their hatred. So it's been pretty radical and fun. I kind of wish you had been around for it, but it's good to see you back, man. You're looking good.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, what do I say? So Lo, when did you marry Lo?
Well, she moved out here back from New York. It's kind of a little bit of a long story, but like in terms of like our kind of really romantic connections, it was kind of closer to the beginning of this year. And she moved out here. Let's see, what was it? I want to say it was June. I think it was late June, something like that. And we kind of basically just got the paperwork together and started building our lives and getting our stuff together and planning for our family and all that. We just kind of hit the ground running. So it's been about, I guess, maybe 3-4 months now.
Yeah, that's kind of blows my mind. She always used to say she hated you.
Yeah, I know. It's she has a different take on that these days. If you ask her,
I hope so.
Yeah, no. She even to this day, will claim like she pursued me first, and that some of those like little throwdowns and stuff was almost some ways like her ways of flirting and stuff. And she shows me these old clips of like, here, see, I was flirting with you and you didn't even notice, that type of thing. So
for some reason, I thought like maybe you had moved, maybe not in with Will, but like to Will's like town.
I visited him. Yeah, no, I visited him, but no, I didn't move anywhere near. I mean, he's come and visited me. He's been here a couple times. He came out and stayed with me, and he had like a little mini vacations out here. He's actually over in Maine right now, having a little vacation with his family right now.
He's in Maine?
Yeah, he's in Maine right now. I think he is until, wait, what is today? Friday? I think he's there until Monday, I think. I'm not certain.
Sure. But I hope his presence doesn't corrupt Stephen King's brilliant mind.
Yeah, yeah. I'll let him know you said that. Throw Stephen King off his axis. Yeah,
don't throw him off his mojo, man.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's that was weird. So praise. I haven't seen his buffoonery in a while. Does he still hang out with Standing?
Yeah, they're still pretty connected. I don't know how ingratiated you were to the whole free grace conditionalism debate that was all going down, but that's kind of been one of the main contentions in the whole little Christian debate community. And praise is a free gracer. I'm not. I'm a conditionalist. I believe you can lose your salvation. Like I'm not one of those guys that's going to you knock and being like, oh, when you believe, you never actually believed, you were never really saved. I'm not one of those guys. I'm one of those guys that's like, I'm one of those guys that's like, yeah, you can believe and you can leave and you can apostatize and lose your salvation. I'm one of those guys. So I've been fighting them about that. And praise is still on that line, but within the last, 3-4 days, I don't know exactly what happened, but the whole fucking environment shifted. And like all these people that were vehemently against me and hating me suddenly like welcomed me in and wanted to set up debates and were like friendly and apologetic. And like there's just been a lot of cohesion and stuff going on. So it's been kind of interesting.
That's kind of how it was before, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, hit and miss.
I mean, I have to say, like, I deleted probably about 7 praise flippity flop streams today. And
the thing I have to say about that, and I've been warned of the same thing. In fact, there's even people in my like very, very loyal group that have been like, fuck praise, fuck Olive, fuck dude, fuck all this nonsense. I'm not on with this, and they're just gonna flip flop again. And my take on it is, what, they might, but despite that, even if I kind of thought that was a possibility, it doesn't excuse me from operating with my Christian ethic, and when people want forgiveness and reconciliation, if my morality and my belief means anything at all, then it needs to be able to be applied. And by the way, this is the big difference between me and the free gracers, because I believe I have to do this. They think every good they do is optional. Like God doesn't really give a shit. Positional justification, experiential sanctification, and all these terms they invent. So to them, living a moral Christian life isn't a necessity. But I'm different.
Earn it, right? You've got to.
Well, it's not really earning it. It's just that I am obligated to demonstrate my commitment to God, as opposed to just treating all of his commands like there's some sort of optional take it or leave it type shit because I'm covered by the dispensation of grace, or that bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you've got to do battle.
Well, yeah, I mean, your faith needs to mean something. You need to. I mean, it needs to be demonstrated in your life. I mean, the core component of faith is fidelity, like it's commitment. I mean, when in John 3, when Christ is talking about people believing in him, what did they believe? Did they believe in the resurrection and the death and the burial? Of course not. It didn't happen yet. So what do they mean when they say believe? Well, they really mean commit. They really mean like adhere to, as in give into, like submit to as the king, as the identity of who he is. That's really what it comes down to. It's not.
So I would assume though to like bring people to God, right?
In what way? What do you mean?
Well, like if you're out doing battle, so like you're I don't know, you're arguing your theology and against the free grace and I'm kind of with you on it. Like the NIFB, I've always found their ideology.
The NIFB were free gracers. Matt Powell and all them were free gracers.
Yeah.
Steven Anderson were free gracers.
A quite dangerous ideology, and he was like the first one to even really turn me on to it. Like
by the way,
pretty much dismissing my past Christianity.
And just so you know, too, had you paid attention to some of my arguments, you really could have made them squirm. Because Steven Anderson can't really argue for the fact that he claims you can do anything and live any lifestyle after you give mental assensus to the truth of the gospel. And just to explain this, you have 3 stages of belief. You have notitia, that's the knowledge, that's knowing what it is, the assensus, affirming that it's true, and then you have the fiducia, or the fidelity, the commitment to its truth in your life. They cut out the fiducia. It's all about the assensus. You just affirm so it's true. So if you have someone out there who lives a homosexual lifestyle, but affirms in their mind that Christ has covered all of their sins, past, present, and future, they're saved. So why is Steven Anderson calling them reprobate? It doesn't make sense. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, these people, they hold these positions. These aren't Christians. These are people with really confused, nonsensical, heretical, fringe theology. You know, these aren't really real believers. Steven Anderson is not a real Christian.
But isn't it supposed to be God that decides that?
Decides what?
You know, ultimately, like, you know, what's a real Christian, what isn't? Who's going to be in heaven, who isn't?
Well, yeah, no, in terms of an ultimate, yeah, absolutely. No one decides that but God. But in the meantime, we're still called to judge righteously based upon what's put in front of us. Christ said we'll know them by their fruits. So it doesn't, I mean, when I say so when I look at like a heretic and I say, hey, you're going to hell, I'm not saying that like in absolute sense as there's no path of redemption or repentance or anything. I'm saying that as in a current state of affairs with what I'm seeing. I'm not trying to look into the eye of God and see what this person's final state is. I'm making a statement of current state of affairs. I'm not trying to predict their future.
So when you're doing battle, you're trying to convince them that their way of Christianity isn't the right way, and you're trying to bring them to God.
Well, I think free grace is a false gospel. Yeah, I don't think the free grace gospel is going to save anyone. So yeah, I do. To me, it's equivalent as if I'm trying to argue an atheist into Christianity. I worry about the free grace or salvation literally just as much.
Well, but why doesn't God worry about it?
Well, he does. I think that's why he has people like me out there to argue it. But I think he offers every lifeline. That would be
my next
possible.
question, though. My next question would be, why would he need you or people like you out there?
Well, it's not about. Yeah, that is a good question. But it's not about need. In his good pleasure for the nature of reality was to work with and have a relational dynamic with his creation. He could just do everything. I mean, he could put you in a pod and feed you with a spoon, 3 times a day and have you perfectly safe and never have any suffering or pain or anything. But what type of life is that? He wants a relational, organic dynamic with his creation. That's why things are the way they are, because this is what makes it real. This is what makes it true. This is what makes your choice as to whether you choose God or not valuable. Because if you were just, forcibly, deterministically indoctrinated in one direction or the other, there's no organic nature in that relationship. It's like finding a wife versus programming a Stepford wife. The Stepford wife might do everything you want all the time and be absolutely perfect, but what type of relationship is that? What type of depth do you have with that? God wanted a deep relationship, and so since that was the purpose of reality, things had to be constructed in a way to protect that. And that includes free will, choice to choose right, to choose wrong, to do things by their purpose or to violate that purpose. And that's really where a lot of evil comes from, the telos rule of morality, which is since God is good, what God sets as a purpose. If you take anything outside of its purpose, then you're in the realm of evil. So
Smokey, I was going to ask you, do you think that the free grace ideals come from Paul?
No, I think actually, really, honestly, if you want to know where they really come from Augustine. Augustine was the OG monergist of the church. If there's anyone that started the perspective that these free gracers hold today in terms of a doctrinal idea, it would be Augustine. And he was then, basically, followed by Wycliffe, by Tyndale, by a lot of these people that ultimately ended up being responsible for the translation of what was going to be the King James Version. So there was an infusion of this very kind of monergistic view into the extrapolation of the text in some of these translations. And it behooves one to be diligent to kind of recognize that, I think.
See, I always kind of thought that, like Paul, though, didn't he, he was the one that emphasized.
Well, yeah, Paul would say things like in Romans, hey, we're not saved by works of the law. But when you look at the context of that, really what Paul is referencing, he's talking about all those sacrificial practices, because many of these letters were to Christian Jews or Christians that were being attempted to be Judaized by Christian Jews in the area. So when you understand the context of the letters and who they were kind of written to and what their perspective was and what Paul was preaching against, it gets a little more clear that Paul wasn't saying like, hey, works of the law are every single good thing you do, like including helping the old lady across the street or giving to charity. You know, he was specifically referencing, hey, these works of the sacrificial system, you know, never saved anyone. It was ultimately faith. It was commitment to God that saved everyone.
Okay.
And the free gracers and the monergists kind of pervert this in their theology to make it sound like they can't do anything. That like, even if they believe, it's not them that's believing, it's not them that's doing the work of believing, it's God energizing them or regenerating them or infusing them with faith, or however they want to put it, that forces them to have to believe. And if you or Knock or anyone else doesn't believe, it's because God said, fuck you, I'm not going to regenerate you and give you what you need to actually believe. This is that monergistic view. This is where you guys would recognize it kind of being Calvinistic. You know, where like God chooses some to go to heaven and some to go to hell, nothing to do with them. This is where this shit came from. And it's originally with these monergistic, these fringe monergistic views, which the West, because it's debaucherous and it wants to license every disgusting fucking action under the sun, it's adopted this idea that once you believe, once you give mental assensus to the gospel being true, then you're locked in and you can't do anything. Whether you go and kill a bunch of people or do a bunch of heinous things, you're still locked in. And even if you worship Satan, at the end of your life, God's going to grab you by the scruff of your neck and drag you up to heaven to spend eternity with him. It's gross.
I was raised missionary Baptist, and
isn't that
that's
more
what my family thinks. My mom, I'm an atheist now, and my mom thinks that I'm still going to heaven. So,
oh, I believe it. Yeah, because you believe the gospel at one point, so you're locked in. You know, you're good.
I'm gonna sneeze. I don't think Matt or the NIV thing. So that sounds more like. Are you talking about like?
No, Matt Powell held that knock. I debated him on that very topic. Don't you remember?
Well, I'm talking about like you can just do whatever. Like I don't think Matt thinks he can do whatever and still go to heaven.
Well, that's the thing though, Bud. He's hypocritical about it because Steven Anderson was hypocritical about it. Because Steven Anderson would make a big fit about the gays, you know, and how all the gays are reprobate and stuff. But really, the hidden truth in Steven Anderson's view of the OSAS was that if a gay man, a practicing gay man, had said in his heart and his mind, the gospel is true and Jesus died for my sins, past, present, and future. According to Steven Anderson's soteriology, that gay man who is practicing a gay lifestyle is saved. And he was never called out on this radical contradiction that's very clear in his soteriology. But this is what makes him a raging hypocrite. He's confused. He's a nutjob KJV onlyist, and his views are hypocritical. He has to affirm, if his soteriology is true, then he has to say, the gay man that believed Christianity for 20 years and believed free grace especially, and then decided to live a gay lifestyle is absolutely still saved. He has to say that, but he doesn't because he's a hypocrite.
Yeah, that would have been my example. Like if Matt Powell were to, for whatever reason.
Well, Matt Powell's as much of a hypocrite as Steven Anderson.
No, I don't disagree. I guess though, my point, the thing that I wonder is like, I don't really see like why the need for this God. So, like it doesn't really seem to really do anything.
So you don't have any accountability. So you don't have any accountability, man. It's like you don't have to worry about anything you do or say or act or judge or how you treat people or anything because it's all just, you know.
I don't think
whatever.
That's true though.
But I don't feel
in free grace.
I'm accountable to
myself.
I'm accountable.
In fact, Knock, I'll tell you, Charles, who is one of the true.
Maybe for them.
Yeah, Charles, one of the true, I would say one of the most like consistent free gracers in the whole community, Layman Seminary. I went into his room and I asked him outright directly. I said, what if someone, affirmed the gospel is true for 1 nanosecond and spent the entire rest of their life, engaging in Satan worship? Would they still be taken to heaven? And he said, yes. Like this is what free grace is really about. This is what it represents, and this is what most of these people hold.
All right, so yeah, I recognize, and so I assume like Bill and Thick Shades and all of them, are they free gracers?
They absolutely are.
All right, and you're trying to like turn praise and everybody against them.
Well, I mean, praise is already against them, not theologically. They still believe the same thing.
Ryan, the turncoat is like right up in there, right?
Isn't he always?
Right. I figured. So I guess like, so my question, like why God is more like directed, like why it seems to me like God just seems to create a bunch of conflict for you in your life, right? Like you argue or do battle with all of these people, all to bring them to your version of God. And I really just don't really see like the point of it. I mean, as we saw a couple of days ago, it doesn't really seem like God's looking out for any of you. He's not giving you any of the answers. Like you guys are still like arguing about this stuff 2,000 years later.
It's a valid point. And I mean, God isn't making them believe this stuff, like, because I'm not determinist, I'm Molinist. That's a whole thing to go into. But, I'm not any type of real hard determinist of any kind. I don't think God made them want to adopt these weird views. And I do think that in terms of if I look to how reality was constructed and created, this entire time and what was revealed in Scripture, I can see that while God could have done a lot of things to just do everything for us, this was about having a relational dynamic with the creation. And so there's I don't know a way to put it, like a light touch, like you could follow your daughter everywhere she goes and direct every action she does like a marionette on a string, and protect her from everything that could possibly happen. Or you could just give her the tools, tell her what she should do, instruct her and guide her, and then trust that she'll go and do it. And if she messes up, you're there to come in and find a way to make it work out or to help her out. That's God. That's God's relationship, in my view.
Can God be unconscionable?
What do you mean? I'm sorry. Say what you mean.
So does God have to be something that, I don't know, is the arbiter of right and wrong? Could God just not merely be the battle of life versus not life?
Like forces.
God or something?
Yeah. So I guess in Taoism, we kind of think of God as, or these things as something, that is unexplainable, right? And human beings, they go through their entire lives and they try to make all of these explanations, and we kind of do this in our own lives. And I like me being a perfect example, right? For all of those years that I was a raging alcoholic, I would go out of my way to be like, this is why I'm not, this is why I'm not, this is why I'm not, this is why I'm not. Like we as human beings, like try to put all of these explanations to everything, right? And could it just simply be that God is this unconscionable, unexplainable thing that's like kind of behind the scenes and kind of letting us ride out this experience? And then with all of this arguing that we're doing, all we're doing is creating like these big knots of fucking pain and agony in our guts because we're treating our fellow human beings like shit.
Well, actually, I don't even entirely disagree with you, Knock. In fact, what you kind of describe isn't necessarily incoherent with Christianity or the Christian God, where he is allowing us to work our way through it. And in terms of his in terms of his dynamic with us, it's consensual. You know, his interaction with us is invitational only, because that's the only way you get the type of relationship. I mean, and most people, if you ask them, you know, they don't want a relationship with someone that they've forced to have a relationship with them. I mean, maybe some psychopaths like the idea of having a chick chained in their basement. I don't know. But generally, most actualized human beings don't want that. You know, they want someone who actually loves them back. And that reflection of our nature, recognizing that, I think, is a mirror of God that kind of explains why reality has to be in such a way where the relationship that forms between us and him is completely of our volition, of our will, because I think that's the only type of relationship that is able to have meaning between the creator and the creation.
Well, do you believe in hell?
Yeah, I mean, might have to be a little more specific. I'm split on the whole lake of fire annihilationism thing, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, just to make it simple, yeah, sure, I believe in hell. That helps.
I mean, like some people believe in just nihilism, you know, to where like
you get burned up and you're destroyed for eternity.
As an atheist, I just will cease to exist or something, and
right.
then. But then there's the whole, lake of fire, which is what I grew up taught. And so I look at that as not a consensual actual relationship, because it's, like if I don't choose God, then I receive a punishment for making that choice. And I don't see that as actual. I mean, that's like extortion.
Well, I would take that view, and I understand I've heard that view before from atheists. I would take it one step backwards in terms of the way you're looking at it, and think about that if God did the perfectly just thing, like no mercy, considered 100% justice type thing, at the fall of man, just wipe everyone out. None of us exist. And you don't even exist to make the choice. So the fact that you even exist to be able to make the choice is a mercy. So, because the other option was just non-existence at all for everyone, including the ones that do choose. And it wouldn't be right for them to be penalized because you manifest in reality and choose to reject it, that somehow they should be deprived of the chance. Because that's really what you're talking about. You're talking about non-existence, really, as the alternate option, in terms of the situation that we're currently in. So non-exist, and that means all the others non-exist for the sake of you being saved from your rejection of the message.
I mean, like Will mentioned in the chat, it's like when Santa says you better be good or you're gonna get an old, present. Like, if it's extortion, I mean, it's not a free choice, because a free choice doesn't, like if you have a woman, like you said, go with a woman tied in your basement. If you take a woman and you tell her you lock her in your basement and you tell her to love you or you'll set her on fire, I mean, like, that's not really a free choice of hers to make. I mean, like, she's gonna, like, a lot of people are gonna make that choice to say how they love you, whether they do or not, just because they don't want to burn up.
And to be clear too, I mean, you're not going to hell for rejecting the gospel. Like, that's not what you're going to hell for. Well, that's not what anyone goes to hell for, really. You really go to hell for is to pay the penalty of your own sins and transgressions and errors of your entire life.
Well, I mean, I will admit that I've probably done things that by Christian standards are sins. But then I see a lot of Christians who I feel like that I actually am a better person since I quit believing in Christianity.
Well, but by what metric? By what metric are you judging?
This metric of what makes me feel better. Like,
Right. Right. It's
I
just your
feel-
own
I
personal
feel
feelings. That's right. I understand that, but that's just your own personal feelings. That's no
Yeah, but I feel,
objective
I
metric
feel
of what's
like
good
that,
or
I
not.
feel like that morality is something that we evolved to have, and I feel like that religion sometimes is tries to teach us the opposite of what our evolutionary morality has given us, like to treat other people, bad or something like that. Because I see a lot of Christians, not all of them. I have some Christian friends that are progressive Christians who are just really great people. They are probably
Hmm.
better people than I am.
Humanity, in terms of its survivability, thrives better in a slave environment because the value of people's lives is tangibly tied to a chattel system. So actually, in the more prolific, if you're talking about just the grand morality, be the progression of the species, a slave system would be the highest moral prerogative.
Well, I mean, I'm
Forced
not a.
copulation. Forced copulation would be the best way to go if that's your paradigm.
That's not my paradigm at all. I'm a humanist, so I think that
Oh no, that's humanism. Oh yeah,
no,
well, that's humanism.
humanism does not
Sure.
support slavery at all. Not
Sure
I
it
don't,
does.
think, I don't think either one of
Sure
us
does.
as humanists support slavery.
no.
Oh yeah, for
No,
sure does.
that's not at all nothing to do with humanism.
Yeah, because it's well, humanism is all about minimizing pain and maximizing pleasure.
No,
And
it's
No,
not
that's
necessarily
materialism.
That's materialism.
Well, that's not materialism.
Humanism is about
Pretty sure it
about
is.
like rights, like individual rights of humans and like bodily.
Well, no, we
autonomy.
don't have any rights. We're just animals. No one has any rights.
Well, we do by
Rights.
government. That's
If
what
there's
we
any
do.
rights at all, they're predicated. They're not natural, especially in an atheistic
I
paradigm.
don't
You
think
can't
they're- I
claim
don't
any
think
rights.
they're natural. I didn't say they were natural. I think that rights are given to us by the
So
government.
why
And
can't
it's
atheists
Right.
claim
So
rights?
government predicates our rights. So when the government says your life isn't worth anything, then that means your life isn't worth anything.
Yeah, that's exactly what North Korea. If we had natural rights.
Well, my point is that that's perfectly morally acceptable to you.
People
It's
in
for
North
people to be
Korea-
devalued by predication of the government, which is a monstrous position to hold. Completely immoral. Really,
Well,
really
that-
gross.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, I think that everybody should have them. I think that that should be a better. That
There
would be
he
a
is.
better society.
No, but you did just say that our value is predicated by the government.
Well, I mean,
That's a really
our values.
profoundly. Actually, I'm offended by that. To be honest, I'm not trying to be that way, but that's
I mean,
really one of the more gross
It can be
perspectives I've heard.
it can be to an extent though,
No,
right? So I
no,
mean,
your autonomy, your individuality, your value is predicated by a creator, not a government. So when the
Okay,
government says,
I
"Hey,
I don't know
why
about
don't
that.
we-
you're not worth us making sure the government continues, then we're going to
I think-
starve you all out like they did
Why
in
don't
Russia."
other people? Why don't
with
other
the Russian
people in other
farmers.
parts of
The
world-
government.
This
can
is
kill us
why
if we commit crimes.
these viewpoints tend to lead to pestilence and genocide. Is because again you allow these governing powers that have no moral compass to actually dictate and predicate whether or not someone has value.
I don't think humanism has ever led to genocide.
Well, atheism has, and atheistic paradigms tend to be humanistic.
I'm not promoting atheism. I mean, I am an atheist, yes. But
When
I
when
think
has
that-
atheism promoted genocide?
And
Well, I
every atheistic dictatorship that's existed, Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, Kim Jong Il,
weren't those-
I don't know.
Weren't those communist authoritarianships?
yes,
Yeah,
Also-
yes, Doc, they were. Yes, they were that also.
So-
Yes.
So I mean,
In fact, it's funny how these socialistic and communistic genocidal bloodlines seem to follow the line with atheism as well. They all seem to be really interconnected. It's weird that way.
I don't care
Well,
if
I
anybody's
mean,
an atheist or not.
so-
I just want them to be a
so
humanist.
I mean, we could do the same thing with Christianity then, right? Like, so every time you have a war and you commit a genocide within Christianity, it's just
How many
Mm.
how many wars are caused by religion of all the wars in human history?
I don't know
A
quite a
bunch.
bit.
Yeah.
You guys should look it up. In fact, there was a big tome that was done on this. It's actually, I believe, if memory serves, less than 2% of all wars are due to religion.
Well, I
So
mean,
It's just one of those
didn't you
atheist
just a
talking
lot of-
points. It's
didn't
one
you-
of those atheist talking points that one of these dumb cunts, just kind of. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. That one of
Didn't you
the
just though like talk about all the genocides that atheists committed?
oh yeah, atheists. I mean, if
in
you
the
want to
name
call
of no
atheism a
God.
religion, I mean, generally it's not recognized as a religion, but if you want to call atheism a religion, yeah, that number will jump up huge.
So I mean, we just went around killing people in the name of no God.
No, not in the name of no God, but the atheistic paradigm allowed for the possibility for the elimination of
The
the value
possibility.
of human beings.
It doesn't
Because, well,
provide
this
for the
is where it goes,
possibility
is because
now.
human beings don't really have that much value intrinsically or individually in any atheistic
So
paradigm. It's all about the sanctity and the success of the system.
Are you saying that because Jewish people in Israel are committing a genocide, that's just the paradigm of Jewish people? They're just going to commit genocide?
Why? That's a whole other topic. I don't know about Jewish side.
That's pretty much.
I don't agree with. I mean, just to be clear, I don't agree with everything Israel is doing. I mean, and my wife is Jewish, so I mean, she's not necessarily completely. She kind of likes Candace Owen in some ways too.
She's
so.
Jewish now.
Well, she always was, man.
When I first met her, I'm pretty sure she was a socialist atheist.
I mean, well, she's always been ethnically Jewish, but in terms of practicing, yeah, I think in terms of practicing religious, I think that's probably a little different. I mean, my kids are going to be Jewish ethnically, mind you, not religious. Unless something's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, it comes through the mother. Yes. Right.
It's the mother's side. Yeah.
So, do you actually honestly believe everything that you just said?
Yeah. I don't tend to say things I don't believe. Yeah.
So you think if too many of us atheists just got together here in America, we just
I think you kill the rest of us. Yeah, I think you kill the rest of us. Yeah, I do.
But isn't that though what Christian nationality or Christian nationalism is trying to do to everybody right now though?
I need an example.
Like Trumpism and
as far as I know, Trumpism isn't murdering anyone or genociding anyone or putting people in concentration camps or keeping people from posting online. I don't see any of that.
They're disappearing people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that. Where are you seeing that?
National news, ICE agents and masks, no badges, people
deportations are disappearing people. Okay. All right.
Disappearing people, no process. That's pretty much what it is.
Well, I might not agree with all of the implementations. In fact, I'll be one of those people that'll tell you generally when you task the government with anything, they'll generally be bad at it. So, I tend to take the position that less power for the government tends to be better, more, free market, more, freedom of expression, freedom of business, things like that. I think those are generally more beneficial. So, if I find a news story where the government has done something and have been bad at implementing it, yeah, that's fine. But I mean, the border policies have been badly implemented for generations. So I don't know how far back and which finger you want to point where, or whose problem it is and who tried to clean it up and who did the right thing and who did the bad thing. What I do know is that people coming here should have reason to be here. And granted that we might disagree with what that reason is, but at the end of the day, that's a very simple pointed point. I think the people that end up here from other places need to have valid reason to be here.
Can I want to read, I'll give me a minute. I'm going to look it up, but I want to read a verse to you. So y'all go ahead and talk now. I'll look it up.
I'll make sure it's only King James only because it's the only Bible inspired by God for some reason, according to some people.
Is that what you hear too?
I'm kidding. I'm pulling your leg. I don't care. Go ahead. Any version is fine.
So, I guess I don't know. Nobody's really been giving you too much shit. You said at first when you came back, people were giving you shit, and it seems like people are getting along with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Except for the crowd that you would expect.
When I first came back, there was a good amount of flack against me, but a good chunk of those people have come over to my side, and we're friendly and cordial, and they're supportive, and yeah, it's been great.
So, Will Kincaid, he's still Jewish?
No, he's Christian.
He's Christian now?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, I found this. In Leviticus 19:34, it says, "The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born." and do not mistreat, and then Exodus 22:21 says, do not mistreat or oppress foreigners, for you were foreigners in Egypt. So how do you square that part of the Bible with the current, what is going on with the immigration?
I don't understand. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to present this to me one more time. Give it to me one more time.
Okay. I assume that you're a Bible believer, right?
I am.
In Leviticus 19:34, it says, the foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born.
Okay.
And then in Exodus 22:21, it says, do not mistreat or oppress a foreigner, for you were born in Egypt.
Right. And that is taken. Yeah, that's fine. I get that. Do you take that as a monolith, or do you take it in perspective of other verses?
Well, I take it as these are words that this Leviticus was a word that actually was
No, I understand, but do you take it as a monolith? Like I'm just curious how you read Bible. Like, do you read Bible as in you read a verse and then you just throw the rest of it in the trash to interpret that verse, or do you consider other verses when you interpret it?
I consider other verses, but I'm just
Okay. I'm trying. I just wanted to check. It depends on the fundamentalist school you come through.
How would you square that directive that it's
right? Well, I would square it with the other verses about how to treat servants and people that are in your midst, and to regard. And you're trying to make it a modern prerogative. And this was, of course, a theocratic principle that included basically the idea that these people could be brought in for a visiting idea. And by the way, even if they were visiting, they had to adhere by all the laws and traditions, including the sacrificial traditions, if they were going to come and visit. And if they didn't do so under the auspices and sponsorship of someone there, and they didn't know the traditions and the customs, then they were seen to basically be an enemy, an invader, or a spy, and they would be stoned and killed. This is why a lot of the constructions of the ancient laws were so rigid, because if you had infiltrators wanting to come in to possibly gain information or plan attacks or stuff like that, the knowledge of how to adhere to the modern culture, to their culture at the time, would have been lost to them unless they were actually integrated and sponsored into it. So this was a way to protect them when they didn't have a standing army and any types of walls or borders or anything like that. So the idea was that if you had someone who was a visitor, yes, you're to regard them with the idea of a guest and hospitality, but there's also plenty of verses of the idea that someone comes in uninvited as a spy, and that person's supposed to be killed, not deported, not extradited, not gotten out. No, they're supposed to be killed because they're there attempting to intentionally violate the laws of the land, and that's their introduction there, which means they have no interest in following and respecting the laws of God and of society, and they end up being a cancer and a toxin there.
Okay, Ephesians speaks of believers being fellow citizens with God's people. Okay, like we are like deporting.
But I'm just saying, to be real, in the ancient Near East, just to be very clear with my final point on that, in the ancient Near East, and this wasn't just the Jews, this was like every culture. If there was some type of attempt to come in and infiltrate or spy of any type, and many of them have some sort of things or certain codes of conduct that where if you're trying to go in there without clearing it through the right people, you could be seen as an infiltrator and you would be killed. This isn't something like unique to them. Like this was a type of societal protection. So like your idea, actually, really, America is super, super moral. Because in the ancient Near East, if you tried to do this thing where you just invaded another country or came over the border illegally without auspices of the government, you'd be stoned or murdered or killed. So I think we're really moral.
A lot of people that we are deporting are Christians.
Yeah,
they are. And, like much of like South America and stuff like that.
I don't care what they claim to be because of the principle of taqiyya. And since Muslims are encouraged by their religion to lie in order to integrate into societies, in order to bring about the benefit of Islam and to murder infidels. So I don't trust people just declaring whether they're Christian or not. I don't give a shit what they claim to believe when they come to the border. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Well,
and another thing, though,
and
is
you're misrepresenting the Near East too. Like so, I think even in the Near East, like they understand armies from like a couple people crossing their border. I think the Bible itself speaks of the Good Samaritan. I think that historically we know that they had trade. Like there were foreigners in Jerusalem. You know, like I think that like you know. If some immigrants are coming
And when they
in,
came in, they had to respect the law of the land, and that included,
that's how it
how they
works.
approached and how they
That's
went
how it
there.
works. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we expect. Yeah,
Okay.
immigration is kind of always
But
been
what
a
we
thing,
have
you know?
today is immigrants who don't care about any of that.
Oh,
They're
so
just
it's
flooding in
different
and saying,
today.
well, I don't care if this one guy waited 10 years, to get his green card and come here to start a new life. I'm just going to hop the fucking border and fuck him. I can just cut in line. And then all these people that are actually doing the right thing and waiting are getting punished for me violating, because now they don't get to let in. They have to slow the numbers of people coming in because I jumped in and cut ahead of them while they were trying to do the right thing and follow the policies. It's not fair.
Okay.
It's not
So
just.
why are we deporting people from, like, we're going to their immigration hearings and we're deporting them? Like,
If you're cutting in front of someone else who's trying to do the right thing and to come to this country the right way and to do it all properly, and you just think, fuck all the laws of America, I'm going there anyway, why do you want them here? Why do you want people here that say fuck American laws? Why do you want that?
if they're at an immigration hearing,
that's not really
obviously they are
happening.
following
Well,
the
no,
law.
that is what they're doing. If they come here illegal and they hop the border, they've literally said their first step on this land has been fuck American laws. Why the fuck should they care about any of the rest of them?
Most of the people that came in under a new Biden loophole to seek that expanded asylum. They were seeking
I know they were
asylum.
invited.
So they were coming in legally. So again, you're just like, kind of like misrepresenting. Like, can't we just drop the hate and just like be human together? Like, do you really think like Jesus isn't for everybody, right? Like, why do we have to be like, why do we have to hate people?
No, man, it's not hate, man. Jesus is a God of order and rewarding positive actions and positive decisions. And you starting your life in this country by breaking the law and saying you don't give a fuck about our laws, why do we want you here? I would not do that to anyone else's country.
They're not breaking the law.
Yes, they are. Yes, illegal immigration is illegal, Knock. I don't know how many other ways you want to parse that, but yes, they are.
No, they made legal immigration illegal, but like asylum laws were a thing when these people came over.
Yes. We've actually removed the asylum law from the Cubans that has been in effect for like 25 years, I guess.
Thank God, because they've been being abused. These asylum laws have been being abused. Go to ports of entry. Stop flooding over the border and forcing your way in and forcing us to make room for you in accommodations and to make special emergency court hearings for you. Stop it. Stop disrespecting the law.
It's that they're breaking laws that you don't think should exist.
Yeah, there. And we had a bill.
Wait, what?
We had a border.
No, I think immigration laws.
They're breaking laws that you don't think should exist.
No, I think immigration laws should exist. I didn't say
I'm talking about asylum laws.
So did you have any?
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't. No, asylum laws are fine, but they need to be practiced properly in the way that they've been set up. They're not. They're just flooding over the border.
Do you think that paying $5,000 for
even what is that? That director, I forget his name. He said, go to points of entry. You want to come in, go to points of entry. Do like the rest of the people that are trying to do it the right way are doing. Stop trying to think you're better than everyone else and you get to cut ahead of the line.
Most people do come through points of entry.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
So do you think that selling green gold cards?
Point of entry is like an embassy, bud. Point of entry is like an embassy. It's not crossing the border.
No, a point of entry is there's points of entry at the border. There's points of entry at airports.
No, the points of entry dictated by law and by Congress is at the embassies. And there are special places that there are facilities that they can go to that are points of entry, but it requires following through and going through paperwork and going through finding out who you are and who you're with and how they're connected to you and all of those types of things. It's not just hopping over the border and, here's a point of entry. That's not what it is.
Haven't they already gone way past the border when they go to the embassy?
Yeah.
So when the ICE director is saying, "Hey, if you want to come in, go to a point of entry," what are you talking about?
No, it's not how it works at all.
Okay, when the ICE director says, hey, if you want to come into this country, stop doing it illegally and go through a point of entry, what does he mean?
Why is the
Through a
ICE
point of
director
entry.
writing laws?
Right, what is a point of entry?
There's several points of entry along the border, north and
I've been
south.
across the
There's
border
airports.
Yeah,
There's-
it's not just jumping over the fence, right?
Nobody's defending people who jump over
like
the
the
fence.
whole border.
Okay, good.
The whole border isn't fenced.
You know, Jill wants.
Leo, I'm going to check out, y'all. I've got to go sit with my.
What's up, Leo? Oh yeah, thanks for coming in, Robin.
I know Jill wants to argue a little bit with you there, Knock. I don't want to take all the spotlight. I've had you for a hot minute.
I can't actually talk.
Yo, hi Leo, man. Been a hot minute. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, there was a lot of stupid flying in the room, and I just
Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I'm
so I
glad
had
you
to come in.
postured so we all knew about it. Go ahead, bud.
So the first thing, 2/3 of undocumented immigrants in the United States are not undocumented because they waltzed across the border and didn't have paperwork. And that's kind of how this country was populated, by the way. They're undocumented because they did come here legally, usually through a visa program, and then overstayed their visas. That's how 2/3 of undocumented immigrants got undocumented. And this is why experts don't use the term illegal aliens, because being here illegally is not actually the same thing as being here undocumented. Those are not the same category. That's something. Nobody's flooding over the border. Do conservatives think these people are just, oh, I'm going to, it's a me, a Mario over the border? And it's like, this is not how this works. Asylum is how most people who come over the border actually get here, and it is done at ports of entry. And according to Wikipedia, a port of entry is a place where one may lawfully enter a country. It typically has border security staff, facility to check passports and visas, and the ability to inspect luggage to ensure that there is no contraband imported into the country. An embassy is not a port of entry. That's not what embassies are. That's not how embassies work. I don't get why conservatives, the people that know the least about this, are the ones that are the loudest about it. It makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah, Smokey.
So
It
you just
seems
said
like
embassies are not a point of entry?
A port of entry? No,
an embassy is not a port retard. Point of entry.
Well, I'm talking about
not a point of entry.
I'm talking about ports of entry, which is the
well. Then you're not talking about what I was talking about, idiot.
Well,
how about
I don't know what
your
a
ears?
point. I don't know what a point of entry is, unless you mean
well, then you can ask the ICE director because he's the one that's set in front of Congress.
Because anywhere along the border of a country is a point at which you could technically enter it.
Oh my God! Yeah, I'm sure that's what he meant, right? That's what he meant when he said point of entry. That's what he meant, right? When he said point of entry, Leo, he meant any place on the border where you can cross. That's what the ICE director was talking about when he said, "Hey, don't cross the border illegally. Go to a point of entry." And he's like, "Well, a port of entry." I didn't say port, retard. So what are you talking about?
Who said anything about me going off of what you said?
Well, you came in saying, "Hey, I heard a bunch of stupid in here, and here's my response."
Yeah,
so were you not responding to me, idiot?
I was responding to some of the things you said. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I never said anything about a port of entry, idiot. And why don't you go back and rewind it?
So you're not using the technical terminology, and then nobody knows.
Leo, let me ask you something. Who in the room said port of entry? Who said that?
Well, I not said port of entry. I heard
him
say port of entry a few times, actually.
Who did?
I just said, Knock said that. I heard him say it a few times.
Did you say that, Knock, or did you say point? Point or port? What did you say? What a stupid fucking conversation this is.
I mean, I'd be pretty upset
like
too if somebody came in and just
Leo.
completely blew every stupid fucking thing I said clear out of the water.
You're a fucking idiot, Leo, like you always were. You always think you know more than you actually fucking do.
So I probably said point, but as I'm like,
I heard you say both. I heard you say point
I probably
twice,
did.
and then I think after that you started saying point.
To your point, Leo.
But point of entry is not a technical term. Like,
yeah, when I just Googled
literally swimming across the Pacific Ocean and just waltzing onto the beach is a point at which you can enter the United States. This is the problem. point of entry isn't a technical term.
Yeah,
there's
that-
no rigorous definition of it, but there
Yes.
is for port of entry.
And-
So
and
if
to
this
that
guy
point-
that Smokey is
I'm
talking
cashing
about
out of
said
this. This
point
is some
of
petty
entry,
dumb
No,
bullshit.
all that
I'm
shows is
cashing
that
out.
the very
I'm
person
cashing
we're
out.
talking about is
So-
too
This is
stupid
some
to
petty,
understand how
stupid
this
bullshit.
works.
Thanks a
You
lot,
probably
Leo.
shouldn't
A
Appreciate
little
it.
correction on
There.
a little correction on the amount of people that are crossing the border undocumented, however you want to say it. There are quite a number of people, thousands coming through monthly through the Darien Gap, and that is well documented. We've had numerous journalists that took the journey with them. They came up through South America, through the Darien Gap, and into America. And it's not just Hispanic people that are coming in. There's actually a lot of undocumented Chinese nationals that are coming in. And a lot of them are, not a lot of them, but a fair number of them are actually connected directly to the Chinese government. We have documented stories of this. There was a gentleman that got caught, I think it was up in New Hampshire. He got caught trying to fly a drone over the naval base, and it actually flew into somebody's tree in their yard. He tried to get it out of the tree. They were like, "Hey, what are you doing in my yard?" The dude bugged out and left. And then they just barely caught him at the airport in California when he was about to jump on a flight to leave the country. So this stuff is happening, but it's not, the numbers have stopped, but to say that it's not happening at all is disingenuous.
Who said it
And-
wasn't happening at all?
No. You said
you
that people
say
weren't
that
pouring over the border, and in the
Yeah, I
Darien
said
Gap,
weren't
people are
over the
pouring
border.
in the Darien Gap. Though they are,
But the
and they
Darien
have
Gap
been
isn't in the
pouring.
United States, so I don't care.
What?
The Darien
It
Gap
pours
is not
directly
in the
into-
United States.
Everything's quiet now. All right, so maybe I can talk. I was trying to tell Smokey that I think I mispronounced it because I googled U.S. point of entry and it said locate a port of entry, U.S. Customs and Border Protection. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Like I
I
said,
was
point of
mispronouncing
entry
it.
is not a technical term. It's just
Um,
anybody using that term doesn't know what they're talking about.
yeah,
Port
and
of entry is the technical term.
and in regards to, like, you know, pouring into the country, I think it's how we describe things, right? Like, so if there is like people quote unquote pouring into the Boreans, whatever, it's like, what does that entail? What does pouring mean? Sure, like most of the people, my initial argument with what Smokey was doing there was he was making a lot of misrepresentations of actual facts, right? Like, and so like when he's trying to say like everybody's coming over illegal, no, they were coming in legally. You just didn't like the laws, and now you changed those laws, kicking them out, saying that they're illegal. They're not actually breaking any laws. There's no initial premise of law breaking there. Maybe sometimes it does happen, right? Like it does happen, or did everything just freeze out and that's what happened? I think.
I don't know. It kind of like booted me. It booted me, but I'm here twice, so technically, I don't know. I'm like, I have achieved human cloning. I'm better than
I
the
was
people
just about
that.
to say, we've mastered cloning. Oh shit,
Yeah,
we've done it.
I beat the people that faked the dire wolf de-extinction.
I think. All right, so let's see if this one's the.
Because
not
I'm
you.
sorry,
All right, that's
bro.
the
I'm
not
sorry.
you.
On the subject of the dire wolf, unless the bacula is 3 times the size of the gray wolf, they did not de-extinct the dire wolf. Unless it's got a triple sized dick bone, it ain't happening.
So and you know, it was interesting there because you know, I was playing it cool with Smokey, but it as soon as like somebody really came in and did some pushback, it was like, oh yeah, there he is. So like Smokey, I would really like. So my ultimate point with Smokey was going to be this. It's like, so you know,
Wait, did he leave?
yeah, he left,
What a
Oh,
bitch.
he doesn't. Me and him definitely do not get along.
and maybe Jill will actually speak up now that he's actually here and he's been talking shit since I came back. Again.
I can talk, but I may have to suddenly, without warning, step away.
suddenly.
What's up?
I mean, what's up? You've been wanting to come in. What do you think about all?
You've been begging me to
of
get
that
in
whole
here.
exchange?
What
Don't
exchange?
let that souffle collapse.
The exchange, Leo and Smokey, and points of
Nothing
entry,
burger.
port of entry.
Yeah, I don't eat lettuce burgers.
All right. You said that
I put that in the
yesterday.
chat. I don't eat lettuce, but I don't. That doesn't really concern me.
What you been up to? I haven't seen you in a while.
Oh man, it's never had a bad day in my life. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I heard
Pretty
you
good.
going through some things. We're praying for you over here.
I'm just poor.
Oh, come on. Compared to who?
Most people.
Most people where?
Everywhere.
Hey man, you're not poor compared to Von Helton.
Probably not. I'm probably yeah. I'm
He
probably
lost
doing
everything.
well.
He lost everything. He lost his mom's property, everything, dude. That fool was living out of a car with half a tank of gas, dude.
Wow.
There's nobility in poverty, Joe. Do you agree?
There's no what?
Nobility in poverty.
Perhaps, depending on your attitude, yeah. But I would also argue that poor people are not always right. They're not always victims.
Do
Well,
poor people
nobody-
go around pretending to be victims?
Some do.
Like who?
You want specific the
Sure.
names or you want addresses?
What types of
Well,
people?
just
You agree that
example.
there are some people who do-
Examples. Like somebody getting help. Is that somebody?
Well, you know,
I don't have
you
specific.
got to remember though. You can't. Poverty is poverty, right? So it does include fucking terrible stains on humanity, like fucking Von Helton, Shandy for Christ. Just absolute, just the worst of the worst, man.
Jill, do you agree? Like capitalism demands poverty.
Capitalism demands. No.
Is
No,
poverty
capitalism is
a
just
natural
the-
part of capitalism? Can everybody
No,
be on the top? And if everybody cannot be on the
You-
top,
you're
must
gonna
there
ask
be
me
people
4
on the bottom?
questions before I get a chance to answer one. Is that how?
Well,
this
I was
works?
gonna finish. I was gonna finish the question.
You asked me 4 different questions.
No,
What
they were all
question
the
do
same
you-
question.
Okay, what was the first question?
So, doesn't punishment require, or doesn't capitalism require poverty? Doesn't like if there's going to be people rising to the top through free enterprise, doesn't that require a bottom?
No, the capitalism is just the exchange of goods. So no.
So it
What?
doesn't it doesn't
Wait, hold
It's
on.
the
So
exchange of
like,
goods.
16,000 years ago, when humans would exchange goods, they were doing capitalism. That's what you think?
Yeah.
16,000
Capitalism is basically it's driven by a free market. It's just the exchange.
No. See,
That's
what
not
separates
what that is.
what separates
It's a little bit of
capitalism,
both.
what separates capitalism from other forms of trading goods and services is that you are allowed to trade goods and services under the guise of speculation.
Hmm?
Yes, you're
What do you mean?
you're allowed to speculate and say this is how much I say this is worth.
Are you allowed to do
Whereas
that today?
it's not. What's that?
You are allowed to do that today. You have to own.
Yes,
capital.
but that's
Yeah,
that's
okay,
capitalism.
so
That's
what's the problem?
capitalism. Whereas there's many other forms of there's many other forms of trading goods and services that do not involve speculation, and they are not
Okay.
capitalism, but they still trade goods and services. And so your definition
okay.
was
Do I get
your
to
definition
choose?
was not a definition of capitalism. It was a definition
well,
of
if-
a general
well,
economic system.
Well, if someone lives in America, don't they have the right to choose whether or not they want to participate in either system?
No, you do
No,
not
you
get
don't?
to choose. You have to participate in
I can
capitalism.
set
in
my own
America.
prices, and then I can work in a business that sets the prices, or the government sets the prices for me, can't I?
That's speculation.
Okay, I can do both, right? In America, I can do both.
But but the government's not. The
so
government
we're
doesn't
still
set the prices
exchanging
for you.
goods. Some people
The
just choose
government
to
does not
exchange
set the
goods in a
price for you.
different way.
Though. The
Some
government
people
does
just
not
choose
set
to
the price
exchange
for
goods in
you.
a different way. But
But the government does
capitalism-
not set the price
Can I
for you.
actually get a
That
sentence
is
out
a
before you start
planned market
overtalking?
economy. If the
So
government
so
sets the
the
price, it's a
bare
planned market economy.
minimum for
All right.
capitalism
Yeah,
is just the
let Joe
exchange of
respond.
goods in a free market. That's the bare minimum.
That's not nobody's getting.
wanna
it right.
add on
So
something else, that's
Capitalism is the private ownership over the means of production.
Yes.
That the means of production can be privately owned by individuals or groups of individuals,
All right, I mean,
such that
and
it's their private property. That is capitalism.
and I don't get how this is so hard for you, Joe. Like, isn't poverty something honorable within your worldview as a Christian? Like,
Well, if you're gonna
should-
ask me a question,
shouldn't you honestly, like, if you were gonna ask yourself honestly, like, as a
then I
Christian,
start answering. Here's how we're gonna do this. If I start answering and you cut me off, then you'll just move on to another question. Your question won't be answered.
all right, well, so is not poverty like honorable within your own Christian worldview? Does Christianity not tell you, to pretty much give away your possessions to be poor?
What? First of all, how do you get possessions if you're giving them away? I've given away a lot.
Well, I mean, I should
Probably
put it
more than I've
I
earned.
should put it that.
But how do
differently.
you get possessions?
Doesn't your
in
God
first-
say that?
do you know how to have a conversation?
Well,
Did you come back? Put your glasses on. Wait, put your glasses on, please.
get them.
The glasses are the difference
They're in
between
my car
the old
where I need
rage
them
and the
the
new
most.
rage. Put your glasses on, rage,
But
so we can have a conversation.
And welcome the unfollower Corey.
hello.
This
I don't
is
know.
everywhere I go, by the way. This is every atheist channel I go to.
I'm tr- All right,
You're
answer.
used to the
So,
echo chamber.
so
You're not
answer.
used to
It's
getting
your time,
answers that
Joe.
are contrary to yours. I understand.
Joe, I've spoken to more people that don't agree with me than the amount of brain
Sure,
cells
yeah.
that you have. Okay.
Sure, you have.
Go, Joe.
But
I
let me
think you
think.
wait until somebody starts talking, then you start talking, and then you complain about being.
That's exactly
overcome.
what he does.
Oh my goodness! You asked
But
me a question.
your
I went
time
to
now. All right,
answer.
so
I have it
answer.
on tape. I can go back to tape,
Answer.
guys.
I want to
Come
hear
on.
it. Answer.
Come on,
Your
guys.
time. Go.
It's happened 10 minutes ago. Come on.
All right, I forgot too.
What's
So
the
let's
question
move
again?
on.
Now I forgot the question. What
All
was
right,
the
I'll
question?
try not to do that. I'll try to like anticipate when you're going to try to start talking after I do.
After you ask the question, you should anticipate me talking.
Well,
After.
but
Go-
like
go ahead.
you know,
Go ahead.
usually in these things, when you ask a question, you try to exporiate on that, right? Like you try to make sure the person's understanding, because I've dealt with you quite a bit now, Joe, and I have to say, you don't understand a lot.
Okay.
That's a bit
Help
of an
me understand.
understatement.
Okay, put your glasses on this time. Let's try that. Let's try that.
All right, so doesn't your God say to give away your shit, be poor?
Okay. Give away, yes. I've given away more than I've earned. So how did I obtain the capital to be able to give it away through charity? How did I obtain that capital?
It doesn't have to
Through
be
the free
legally,
exchange of the
fairly,
money.
or
Well, I'm
Through the
just
free
asking.
exchange of
ethically.
goods.
I
That you can't
simply
answer.
like,
Through the
can you
free
not say
exchange of
like
goods
poor people have merit
and a free market
there's
where
honor
supply
within
and
that
demand
and they're
determines
human?
prices. I mean, goodness gracious.
But no, that's not a requirement.
Eureka.
That's
Joe,
not a requirement, though.
can Donald Trump
This
go
is
to,
the
go
age
to
of
heaven?
enlightenment. I hope
Can
I hope I'm in
Donald
the
Trump
right
go to
age.
heaven?
I'm in the right age. I know time travel is possible.
All right, Joe. Your mic is like really
Time
low.
travel
Oh,
is
yes.
possible in one direction at the
Let me
speed of
try to
light.
turn you up.
So yes, the Bible speaks about being charitable, extremely charitable, more charitable than you probably want to be. Okay, yes, but you have to have capital in order to give. Can't help someone if you can't feed yourself and your family.
All right. So, is there honor in poverty?
I don't know what does that mean. Is
Like,
there
should you
honor in-
should you respect somebody that's poor?
Why- I don't.
Should poor people have
the Bible
help?
doesn't give. I don't think the Bible teaches that as an ethic. We should hate or like someone because they're poor. I don't think that's a biblical.
No, you just seem to like have
Uh,
an issue when I said I was poor. I was
morale
just
or-
trying to flesh it out.
Oh, I love poor people.
All right.
I grew up one.
Okay. So
I'm
I
gonna
don't
do
know.
a video
What do
to
you wanna
help
talk
you. I
about?
think you're probably you probably believe the lie, the huge big lie that the Bible promotes socialism, not capitalism. I'm going to do a video.
I don't necessarily.
Actually
No, I don't believe that
refuting
at
that.
all.
The Bible supports
gonna do-
neither
I'm gonna
because
do a
neither of
video.
those existed
My
when
goodness,
the Bible was
calm down.
written.
Did I just trigger someone? I'm going to do a video
No,
explaining
you just straw man
from
what I believe.
from scripture why that is the case, which you can't do.
Why can't I do that?
Because you don't know how to read the Bible.
I don't know how to read the Bible. Why not?
Okay, so you can't tell me what the Bible says.
Now
but
I
can
know,
help
like
you.
I had fun reading the Bible in my Bible is Stupid series, but like I can read the Bible.
The Bible promotes capitalistic ideals. I'll say that much. Capitalism, of course, didn't.
I don't think
exist.
that the Bible is like a socialist manifesto. I think that like if people lived their life by the Bible, none of us would be alive.
Okay, so now you're not talking about economic realities. You're talking about something else. I gather. Moral prescriptions. Looks like we lost Knock.
He'll be back.
I don't know. I think my
There
internet.
he goes.
I think my internet's being goofy. That's probably what happened to you earlier, Puff. It's probably more on my end. I don't know. It's been a while, Joe. So I'm not sure. Like, what do you want to talk about? Like, because you've been trolling me since I came back. What's the deal, yo?
Oh, I mean, if I was saying things in the chat that you don't like, just let me know what you disagree with.
Well, I'm saying like, I guess I don't know. I don't know. Like,
You tried to paint the Minnesota shooting as a right wing
all right, here we go. All right, cool.
conspiracy.
Yeah,
Until we found out who the shooter actually was. So what
neo-Nazi.
No, a trans woman,
How do we know this was a trans woman?
not a neo-Nazi.
How do we know this person? Because I've been hearing this a lot, but it's funny because the only sources I've seen say anything about the person being trans are right-wing sources, which leads me to
Yeah.
believe immediately that's probably not true. So I'm just wondering what I don't know off of what are they determining that this
Well,
person is trans?
Well, the
How
reports
is
that
that
you
determined?
the reports that you've heard or read, or I would predict would only be coming from the right, because this is another embarrassing moment for the left, where they're trying to paint a narrative that actually isn't the truth. The last few shooters have all had the same type of profile.
Okay,
Leftist.
so did
hate
you
Trump.
hear the question that I asked you, or are you just choosing to ignore it?
So you've already read the article. So why do we need to discuss? I agree that they're
how did
only
we
on the
determine-
right. I agree
how
that
was
they're
it
only.
determined
I agree
that
that
this
these are
person
reports, sir.
that did
These
this
are reports
most
that
recent
you've read,
shooting
sir.
was trans? How
These
was
are
that
reports that we
determined?
both read. How do they
So
determine what's in the
you
report?
don't know how it was determined.
How did they determine what's in the report? They investigate. They interview.
Who did these investigations and
did
what
you read?
information
Did you
did
read
they
the articles?
investigate?
I can pull the articles up for you and
Who
tell you what the author
investigated?
says. What the
Who did the
investigator
investigation
or what
and
the
what information did they use?
Okay, you're going to now do a fact check on the articles we both read. Have you already done that fact check, or argument,
see how you're just
or is
vaguely
your argument,
alluding?
I'm rejecting it.
articles, and if
Is
you
it-
just go read the
is your
articles, you
argument-
don't know what the articles have to say. But that's
Is
what
your
the articles have-
argument?
But you're not like going.
Is your
any deeper
argument?
than
Well,
that.
let's try to engage.
Where
Let's
did
try
the
to engage.
articles get their information from? Based on what did
Sources.
we determine that this
Sources.
person was trans? I'm not
Sources.
even denying that they are.
Sources.
Maybe they are. I don't know.
Sources. Okay, I
want to
answered
know
your
how
question.
we know that this
Sources.
person is trans from the people who
Sources.
are saying
Okay,
that they are.
so sources. Okay, I answered your question. Now answer mine.
So that
You
is
got your
well,
information
We,
from
we,
sources.
we've got sources.
Okay,
everybody. Share
so
sources.
now
We've
the
got
same
sources.
place
This is
MSNBC
fucking
gets their
ridiculous.
information, the same place Fox News gets their information, sources. Okay, so now journalistic sources. So now you've determined that you've rejected those sources, those articles, those reports, because
We
they're
got
only
from the
from right
source.
wing. Because relax, Relax. Relax. Take a deep breath. Relax. Calm down, liberal. You're in trouble. I know, because you're
I'm
in
a
a room
liberal?
with someone who can actually deal with
When
you.
did I become a liberal?
Okay,
God
you-
damn it.
you-
Is
now
it the
you're
flag?
saying
Does
that
the
you
flag
reject.
make me
Now
a
he's going to
liberal? Is that
overtalk.
what-
He's
is
going to
that what that
overtalk. So
does?
let me mute. Let me mute and let him overtalk himself. And I'll come back and let's see
How
if
do
he
you
can actually
overtalk
deal with
yourself?
this conundrum he's put himself in.
Hey, Leo, I
No,
was
you
wondering if, hey, don't
okay,
shoot
I'll
guns.
mute.
Is that overtalking?
You see how
yourself?
easy
Like, how do
this
you
is,
do that?
Rage? I
How do
can
you
do
do
this
that?
all day, Rage.
All right,
I've been doing
right.
this for 15 years, Rage. This guy's no
Alright.
natural. When his guy was in diapers,
This is fun.
when he was putting Peter Pan up
is
on his
fun.
wall, I was doing it.
Be water. Be water. Yeah, this is
Okay,
alright.
can I go back to what I was asking him?
Well, no, let me.
Or you're gonna let
Jill,
him deflect and
well,
run
Jill,
away
let
and
me-
get away like the little coward that he is? Look at
Well-
him laughing because he knows he's cut.
The only one deflecting
Okay,
is
okay.
you.
He won't
Alright.
let me uncover.
Can I say something? Can anybody else say something?
I'm gonna
Alright,
lose
so-
my
so
track
Jill,
of train
so-
of thought in a minute. So,
So like,
go ahead.
This is
Because
something
he's really not
I,
that important to think about for longer
Jill.
than 5 minutes. But
Jill,
go ahead. I'm
calm,
sorry.
Be calm.
Yeah.
The uncarved block, Jill. The uncarved block. This is something I didn't know. This is something I had seen it from different things, but this is the first I'm hearing that this only came from right-wing sources. Don't you find it a little? And you yourself admitted that, so I'm definitely
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right.
And I
Don't
gave a
you
good
find that
reason.
suspect though? Like there's nothing suspect about that at
Did
all.
you hear what my explanation was? Can you still man my position on why I would expect, why I said you could predict that only right-wing sources would provide that information? Can you
Why?
still man my argument as to why I would
Well,
say that was the case?
In my headphones, I had two people.
Oh,
yelling at
you
each
couldn't
other.
hear. Okay, pay attention this time,
All right.
liberal. You will not
Okay.
hear left-wing sources
Okay,
that are
Whitey.
tied to the Democratic Party. We have proof of that. Read the Obama files, Spygate, Obamagate, whatever you want to call it. You will not see the left-wing media, MSNBC, promoting anything that goes against the narrative that shooters have a certain profile. So that's why the last 3 shooters, school shooters, were trans, but they never reported on it. The same
Oh, they didn't
only
report
the
on it.
right-wing media reports on it when it's a trans person, and it's just the opposite when it's not a trans.
Isn't it just amazing to see how
Okay, I don't know what world you guys are living in,
stupidly these people
but
think
that's
about
the
things?
world
Like,
we've been
it's
living in.
incredible.
If
It's
you've been paying
absolutely
attention,
incredible.
if you've been
Wait,
paying
so
attention,
Jill, I just want to ask,
scary,
hey, can I
though,
ask
that there's
you?
people that
I mean,
Can I ask
does
Jill
anyone
one
here
question?
disagree with me?
Yeah,
What I
let-
just said. Does anyone here disagree?
Who was that? Was
Okay.
that you, Corey?
Yeah,
I think
that was
Pup.
me.
No one here
Oh,
can
oh,
refute
Pup.
what I just
Yeah.
said. That's in
that was
fact. That
I
is how the media is run today, unfortunately.
This is insane.
okay. So my question is this, Jill. Based on the fact, or based on this reporting that the person is trans, what do you believe that? What do you believe they have a leftist ideology?
Yes, the manifesto was found. Yes, the manifesto was
okay.
found.
So,
And it
so you
said-
do
and it
understand. Wait a
included-
second.
hold
Wait a
on,
second.
hold
Wait a
on,
second.
hold on.
Hold
Let
on.
me
Hold.
answer you.
I asked you a
Let me
question. You
answer
answered it.
fully. Okay, I'll mute. If I can't answer your question, then I'll mute and let
Okay.
you
Well,
ask
no.
questions for
It's going
yourself.
into this manifesto.
Okay,
It's going into this
no,
manifesto.
I'm not going to go
Because-
into it. I'm just going to let you know.
No,
that,
I'm just
yes,
saying
we
that
know
there.
this because here's the evidence. Because we found the manifesto which said kill you know who, delete Trump. So that was
And
on
fuck
her-
the kids and
Yeah. So that was
1,000
on the-
other things that any
All right. What's your next question?
any
Certainly not a right winger. What's your next question?
any leftist trans person would never make 90% of the statements, if not all the statements that were within that manifesto. Then we go into the fact that the right
Delete Trump.
has a doctor that spends her time going over leftist ideology. She spent 3 days live streaming a socialist conference. She really goes into the breakdown, and she spent 3 hours going through his manifesto and breaking it down. And she's like, "I'm sorry, guys, I'm sorry, but none of this is something that a Marxist trans person would say or do. This is all right-leaning stuff, including but not limited to the fact that they said that one of the people that they were in love with was Brandon Herrera,
And the fact that they had met them at SHOT Show, which is not a public and open show. You have to be an industry professional to get into the show. So for him to get into the show,
why don't you give us the source? Because me and Leo have only found right-wing sources for this story.
Okay.
So you seem to have another source other than the 2 right-wing sources we found. So yeah, sure, provide that source to me so I can read it. I'd love to read what's in that story. Is this a right-wing publication or left-wing or moderate, which is really non-existent today, pretty much?
All right. So where are we at right now? I'm sorry. What are we waiting for, Jill?
And I don't think we have. I mean, we have so much information on this man. Why isn't the mainstream media reporting it? It doesn't fit their narrative. That's why. Plain and simple.
Why isn't the mainstream?
No one here will argue against me on that fact.
Do you hear me, Jill? Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. So, what are they not reporting?
They're not reporting the details of this story, which they would normally. They'd do a 24-hour marathon if it were a.
What are those details?
Well, I think the practice now is.
Who was this person?
Well, no, I think
their story.
Well, actually, Jill, I think the practice now in these situations is usually to try to get as much information as possible before, because like you can make vital mistakes, and we found that out as long ago as Columbine, right? Like if you just start running with information, often in these situations you're going to run with the wrong information.
Yeah, that often happens on the left. Yes, that often happens to you. Yeah.
Sorry,
it doesn't happen on the right.
I'm on my phone, so when I go into my notes folder, it shuts down StreamYard. But her name's Dr. Carolyn B. She does in-depth analysis of leftist ideology, and she does not do it for leftist progressivism. She does it for study these people so you can fight them at every turn, so you can defeat their ideology. And she sat there and she said, I'm sorry. After during 3 hours she took to break down his whole video manifesto that was released on YouTube from start to finish. And she's like, I'm sorry, but none of this is leftist Marxist ideology. It's all extreme right-wing ideology. She's like, I'm sorry, guys.
A right-winger that hates Trump?
Yeah, there are actually a lot of right-wing people that think Trump is a part of the inner deep state and the Anunnaki and all this other weird ass super fucking hard.
It's a fact that so even Nick Fuentes was like, he's a Nazi.
Well, give us an example. Give me an example of what is promoted in this manifesto that makes it right wing. Give me an example.
We already went over that. The whole Brandon Herrera thing, his infatuation with guns.
Stop.
He is extremely. What?
Infatuation with guns. Let's not do that, okay?
What? Whoa! Wait a second. Did you see the arsenal? Have you seen the manifesto?
I'm infatuated also. Okay, that's not okay. So I guess that makes me a right winger. But what was the first one?
No. Your ideology is what makes you a right winger.
Okay, what was the first one? I didn't get the first one. Her infatuation.
His love for Brandon Herrera.
Okay, who is that? Who is Brandon Herrera?
Brandon Herrera.
Who is that? Can you explain who that is?
This person makes you a very prominent YouTube personality that does a lot of he does almost strictly gun content, with the exception of the 2 podcasts that he does. And he is also definitely a right-wing person because he ran for office as a Republican in Texas.
Wow. So that makes you right wing. Texas. Wow.
A Republican running for office in Texas makes you a right winger.
I think that's
definitely makes that. Yeah.
Wait a
minute. Is that your definition of right winger too, Leo? I'm just curious.
Shut up, Joe.
Jill, I can see Jill. He's like Jill. I can see Jill. He's like He's like, what?
I think I
He's like,
understand. I
Okay,
think
so he
said
likes
it.
guns.
I think
Okay,
said
we
it.
like.
he's like, what?
Wait a minute.
An authoritarian? What?
All right, wait.
Oh, he's
so
authoritarian
Jill,
because he likes
are
guns.
you
That's-
Jill? Are you only right wing if you are a Trump follower? I think this is like the second time I've been asked this
you know what?
question.
I don't know. Nowadays, we don't have a
Because
running
you
definition
asked the
anymore. We
question
just
like
don't.
a right winger would want to kill Trump because this I was asked this question earlier, and because he did say like die Trump, something like that, right?
This guy,
Huh?
this is Brandon Herrera.
Yeah,
That's him, right?
Brandon Herrera.
So
I like this guy. I'm gonna keep him.
So
as
like
my-
Jill,
I like this guy.
so you understand like a lot of neo-Nazis actually don't like Donald Trump. Do you understand that?
Yeah, a lot of them would vote for Kamala. Actually, they would
No,
vote Biden.
Do you
and
know
Kamala.
why they
They-
don't
they
like Donald
hate
Trump?
her.
Because his daughter's a Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like not Netanyahu's bitch boy.
Wow.
Yep, and he's and he was hanging out with Epstein for all those years, who is directly tied to Ghislaine Maxwell, whose father, Mr. Maxwell Sr., was clearly operating on behalf of Mossad, and so much so that he got a hero, a hero of the an Israeli hero honorary funeral. He was never in the military.
Yeah, I mean, your whole argumentation kind of falls apart. Like when you have Nick Fuentes saying, "Guys, it's a neo-Nazi," like it's a neo-Nazi, right? Like
Nick
I think,
Fuentes is a neo-Nazi.
well, yeah, but
Fuentes?
Nick Fuentes said the shooter was a Nazi.
Wasn't one of the prominent so-called right
Well, white
wingers?
supremacist.
Didn't he come out
specific
publicly?
wordage.
Wasn't one of the so-called prominent right wingers came out? Who was it? I'm trying to think who it was. Not this guy, but the guy before him, the guy that they were throwing around, seeing what could stick. Didn't he say he was going to vote Democrat because he was in favor of the policies that the Democrats would enact?
No,
because they
No,
were
Nick
they were
Fuentes-
harmful.
Nick-
They were actually harmful to black people. I can't remember who
No,
it was.
Nick-
Not Nick Fuentes. Not Nick Fuentes. Whatever.
Nick Fuentes had dinner at the White House with Donald Trump. Now he has recently come out against Donald Trump because
Oh, he's a right winger.
Nick Fuentes is a Nazi,
Hmm.
and yeah, he definitely doesn't like Donald Trump like bowing to Netanyahu and
Can
helping
it be
out
leftist
Israel.
Nazis?
Huh?
No,
be
that doesn't make any sense.
Are
Oh,
you-
it doesn't. Only so Nazism is only on the
saying
right.
that somebody
Okay.
could be a leftist and a Nazi would be like saying somebody can be a Christian and a Muslim. It just
Right.
doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yeah. Doesn't make any sense because you say so.
yeah, it's
Well,
like
no,
calling
because
the,
they're
you know,
two
or the
fundamentally
basement penthouse
dissimilar
suite.
ideologies. Just like
Right,
Christianity and Islam are fundamentally dissimilar ideologies because of the way the ideologies are structured. There's no way you could systematically hold the both at the same time. It's
Mhm.
the same
Sure
for
you
Nazism
could.
and
You
leftism,
could be
which are
ignorant.
fundamentally opposed to each other on a variety of issues. You couldn't be
Right.
both a leftist and a Nazi at the same time.
But you can be a right winger and a Nazi at the same time.
Yeah, well, Nazism
Right,
is right. Nazism is right wing. Yes.
Sure. Right.
You just dismissed that. Like, aren't you supposed to be like?
Yeah, he's not defining his terms, so I'm just gonna dismiss him.
You don't like.
He doesn't
you
have a
don't
running
like-
definition of any of these terms.
Jill, you do not like definitions. I know
They
this for a
change
fact.
they change definition over time. So I don't know.
No,
what
because
type
you
of
feel like
Nazi
the
you
fact
prefer.
that you're like, I could pick whatever definition I want,
But a
so
Nazi,
maybe you could
but
too.
a country that runs their country through an economic system like socialism or communism, I would say is left wing.
Like Jill, just on this
Yes,
one
they
issue,
are.
like
If they're
like,
Nazis,
Jill,
at
But
the
the,
same time,
the
Jill.
Nazis didn't do that. The Nazis
Jill,
did not
they
do
didn't?
that. The
They
Nazis
didn't?
are fascists, and they maintained a strong capitalist agenda
so you can
and
be a
a
leftist-
capitalist environment.
so you can be a leftist and a fascist. Agreed. Fascism has always been on the
No.
right. Gentile.
No,
No,
Nazis
that can't
are
be
right
left
wing,
wing
and
and
fascism is a right wing
always been.
ideology. Fascism. Do you know who invented
You cannot argue
fascism?
that for fascism.
Who
historically.
invented
You
fascism?
cannot.
Who invented
Sorry.
fascism? Who
Gentile.
invented fascism?
Gentile.
All
was a left.
Real quick.
For who?
Real quick.
Gentile.
Who was it
the
invented
brainchild
for?
of Mussolini. Look it up.
Yes, and Mussolini
Ask Leo.
was a
Ask Leo. He'll
right
tell
wing
you.
dictator.
Ask Leo. He'll
So
tell
so
you.
so
What makes
real
him
quick.
He was a
Right-wing? Because
right
you
wing
don't like
dictator.
him?
So
Because he
you're
was a
willing to
dictator?
admit
Right wing now. Dictator.
no, he was a
right-wing if
known
you're a
authoritarian dictator.
Makes you right wing if you're authoritarian. You can't be right wing.
Yeah,
Can't be
yeah,
left wing and
actually it does.
authoritarian. It doesn't
Actually,
exist,
kind
right?
of it. It's,
Yeah, it
it's,
never existed,
it's
right?
I don't know.
very
The problem
easily
is,
understood.
Jill, you don't
have it.
understand the difference
Hey.
between leftism, like what left wing politics is, and
Somewhere.
what right wing politics are. You don't understand what the
Well, it
distinction.
depends on
between
where
those
you
two
are
is.
in history and where you are located.
Well, not really.
That
No,
depends. Yes, it does. 'Cause
no,
those terms
no,
have
no, it
evolved.
doesn't.
Those terms
The
have
left
evolved.
wing and the
Yeah.
right wing have represented the same things since that very political spectrum was born out of the French
Okay.
Revolution, which
Okay,
is
what's
thing
that?
I'm
See,
certain
and that's where you
did
have
not
an.
know.
That's where
Give us the
you.
bare bones. Hold on, let Leo speak. I like this man. He's intelligent. What is the bare bones? Give us the bare bones of both.
What? Bare
Give
but
us
what the
the
fuck are you talking
definition
about?
of both. You say these terms have always existed in their rightful positions or places. One has always
What?
been one thing, and one has always been another thing.
No,
Tell us
I
what
said
thing
that
was.
what it means to be left wing and what it means to be right wing
Has
have
never
meant the
changed.
same thing since the traditional left right political spectrum was born of the French Revolution.
I'll
French
be right
Revolution.
back. I'm gonna
Okay.
go check on my
Do
kid.
you know why we use
So tell
left
us
and
what
right
those
to
distinctions-
distinguish between
Yes,
these
that's what
two
I'm
very
asking you.
different political ideologies?
That's why I'm asking you, sir.
So you
Give us those
don't know why.
distinctions.
So
Give us the- I'm asking- go
it
ahead.
comes from the French Revolution, where during the French Revolution particularly during the start of the French Revolution, the people that served in, I think it was called the Ancien Regime in France were divided, and those who believed in maintaining the monarchy and the authoritative policies that were associated with the monarchy sat on the right side of the chamber, but those who favored the revolution in favor for a more democratic structure to the government of France sat on the left side of the chamber. And this is why, even to this day, more progressive policies that are centered around the expansion of democracy, that are centered around pluralism and egalitarianism, are considered left wing, while those that are centered more on law, order, and authority are right wing.
Right.
This
And
is
you get
this is first semester political philosophy.
No, it's not.
Nothing I
No,
am
it's not.
saying is even remotely idiosyncratic.
no, it's not. It's not even close.
Yes, it is.
Not even close. And
Yeah,
the
you just
reason-
don't-
That
you
was
don't know
literally
anything
the
about
textbook
history.
definition.
The problem with that definition is that it's not going to be the same if you cross the Atlantic. That's the problem.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
it
All
takes-
across Europe.
No, it is
Dude, it was in Europe
And
that
also-
the left-right
also-
spectrum originated. Do you not
Okay,
know where
sure,
the fuck
sure.
France is at, my guy?
Exactly, great.
France
but now
is
we're
in
crossing the
Europe.
Atlantic and we're fast forwarding hundreds of years. Okay. Number two, the second problem with your argument is that you are defining what progressive is. Okay.
I don't
We
know what
can
you mean by
define
that.
progressive. We have a different understanding of what progressive is than you do. You would
I'm
say
using
you would say
progressivism
allowing
as
you
it's
would say
defined
allowing
in
men.
political
Oh, can I
philosophy.
finish my point before you start over talking? Like I was
Not
able
when
to
the
do?
point that you're making
when I was
is based
able to
on a
do
fundamental
when I was able to
fundamental
do when you were
misunderstanding of
talking.
not
So
only
you
what
would
I
argue-
said, but just of the
you would
basic
argue,
facts
for
of how the
example,
world works.
I'm going to ask you a question and let you respond. You would argue, for example, that not allowing trans men to use women's bathrooms is a form of non-progression, meaning the opposite would be progressing. Correct? Progressive. Correct?
Well,
Yes or no?
I don't
Yes
know
or
what
no?
that means. I take progressivism to be a broad. It's not like
I'm
one
giving you an
thing
example. I'm not
is
saying it's one thing.
progressive
I'm not
or
saying it's
not.
one thing.
This is a
I can
broader
give you-
ideology.
okay,
so
I
don't know what you're
understand that.
talking about.
We don't have time to go
I don't
through all
think
100.
you understand
We
at
don't have
all.
time.
in
He's
fact.
dodging. He's dodging. Why do you?
What
dodge
am I
me?
dodging?
Why
What
do
am
you
I
dodge
dodging?
me? You answer.
What
the
am I
question.
dodging?
Would you consider
I don't
that?
know what you're asking me.
Would
You're
you
saying,
cons-
well,
okay,
this
let me
one
ask it
singular
again.
instance of
I'll
like
ask
a
it again.
trans man using the women's restroom. If you
He's
if you
dodging.
disagree with that, that's not progressive. But if you agree with that, that's progressive. I don't know.
Is that a progressive
That
policy? on the left?
progressivism would not be
True?
used to analyze
Yes.
something like that because
Is
again,
that
this
a
is a
progressive
broader
policy on the
political
left?
ideology.
What?
So
Let's see if
your
Knock can answer.
question
He's
is
afraid.
just malformed.
Is that a progressive policy on the left, Knock? Right now, today.
What?
A progressive
The idea
policy?
that
What?
Trans bathroom?
men should be right. The idea that women should be allowed, men should be allowed, who identify now as women, to use women's bathroom. Is that a policy today on the left? And they say it's progressive. Is that true or false?
No,
They don't call that progressive?
I think it's a policy.
They don't call that progressive.
I think it's just like
Lying
people should
scallywag.
use the
You're
bathroom
done,
they're
son.
comfortable with using.
You're
Like
done.
so
No,
I
you're
mean,
just misframing it. Men who identify as women. Well,
Well,
no,
if I may be misframing
women
it or misgendering,
women
I'm
who
sorry,
want to
but
be
you're
able to
done.
go to the
You're done.
bathroom.
I will
where
say
women
this.
go to the bathroom.
If
Jill,
that's
I-
what
I
you
will
Nor
say
just
this.
normal people who
Then
think
no.
women should be
Jill,
allowed
don't
to go to
agree
the
that you're
bathroom in the
progressive.
places where women go to the bathroom.
Okay.
In
Let me
my
give another
entire life,
example of
in my entire
progressive.
life, I've never been
I'll give another
uncomfortable in
example.
a public bathroom.
He's gonna
ever.
dodge that too.
What?
I'll give another example. He says we're more progressive, so we should be considered the original left wing. No, like I agree with Rage. We
Huh?
are the Republicans are the traditional liberal, right? Rage.
Well,
What?
the Republican Party, when it
The
was
Republican
created
Party,
by Lincoln,
That's what she
was
said
a much
yesterday.
more classically liberal
I
political
would-
party.
We're the
Yeah, I would
classical
consider
liberals today.
Lincoln
These
more
are not
liberal,
classical
yeah.
liberals today. Even though I call them liberals, they're not liberals at all.
Who?
Well, I mean-
Not
The
classical
Republican
liberals.
Party?
We are
No,
the
the
actual
Republican
classical.
Party is largely
But
representative
what you
of
call progressive
conservatism.
really is not
So
progressive.
until recently,
It's
Well,
regressive.
what I call progressivism is
God.
It's
progressive.
regressive.
you have to let people
The
respond. So,
ideals are progressive. Progressive ideals are still
new.
progressive ideals.
Jill,
They're
The fact
new.
that we had a party
They're
shift,
not
the
progressive.
the
Jill-
fact that the party shift happened doesn't do anything to help your argument.
Jill,
Party
Jill,
shit.
I'm going to blow your mind because until
What party?
recently,
Oh,
you're-
wait, what? What? You know about all the
you know
ins
what?
and outs of the
And-
French Revolution, but you don't know ins and outs of the party shift? Come on.
Whoa, my
Don't play
guy.
coy with me,
Let me
boy.
explain something to you. Let me explain something to you as an educator. If I ever catch
Even-
anyone teaching that there was a party switch, I
Holy
will
shit,
report
you're
you.
teaching the youth of
I
America?
will
We're
report
fucked.
you. I will
I don't
report
think that
you
he is
to your
at all.
superintendent, and hopefully they're not black because they're going to promote that lie. Also, there was no such thing as a
What?
party switch.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, there was.
Okay,
Jill, can you?
Come
Jill,
on,
can
it's
you
well
think that the
documented.
black
It's
Jill,
literally, we have the
Stop
Jill.
signature.
repeating that lie. to
We
black
have
people.
signatures. We have the
Tell me
signatures.
what the
Three
Southern
senators
strategy was.
of 3 senators. The Southern strategy has nothing to do with the party switch, sir. Nice try.
We have the signatures.
Am I
though.
Three
louder?
senators. We have their names.
Yes,
Would
you
you
are.
like their names? 3 senators.
We have the
switched from
signatures of the
Republican-
people that switched parties because of the fact
3
that they
of
could
them,
not.
sir. Do you know
How many?
more were there? 3. 3.
No,
That's it.
way more than that.
Stonewall.
Way more than that.
Name them.
Way
Give
more.
me a list. Here,
Oh,
$100.
let me go.
$100 to your PayPal. Knock. Post your PayPal.
I don't
Knock.
need your money for. I don't need your money
No,
for
no, I
nothing.
said to
But we're
knock.
about to
I
go
said
pull
to
up the
knock,
list.
sir.
No, we're gonna go
This
pull
guy
up the
here,
list.
knock.
Actually, I think Leo has
Is
it
he
on his
here?
computer.
Is
As
he
a matter
with
of
us?
fact,
Is he with us? $100 to your PayPal. Knock.
Can you guys?
I don't
hear
want your
me,
money.
yo?
We're about to.
Did
We
I
have the whole
say-
list.
Did I say you, sir? Did I say you? Are you okay?
Can you guys
bro?
hear me at all?
Take a chill.
Yes, yes,
bro.
we can hear you.
Am I louder?
Well, I was the
Yes,
person
yes,
that you
you
were
are.
addressing at the time, and we're speaking.
Am I
so,
too loud?
You know,
No.
it's just a
All right.
He's
weird.
thinking I'm trying to give him something. I'm not giving you.
Holy shit! I mean I lost track about 10 dumpster fires ago. I don't even know what the fuck you're asking, Joe. I don't know what.
Okay, let me repeat
I
myself.
don't know what's going on.
$100 to your PayPal account. Knock.
$100.
I don't have one anymore.
We all know Jill's black.
Whatever.
He doesn't have
Whatever.
$100.
Whatever. Stop deflecting, dude.
I don't have a PayPal
Why are
account
you
anymore.
running? Because you know you're wrong and you can't provide
No.
receipts.
I'm just being a douchebag because
If
there's no
you can
point in
show me-
engaging with you. You're too stupid to be engaged with.
If you could show me the list that includes all of these so-called senators that switch parties, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to read it.
Okay,
When
so
did
we're
he
you
claim
can do
that
that.
there's
Party
oh, sorry, Go
switch.
ahead, knock.
Wilson.
all of the Dixiecrats, like, all right. So, but even beyond
How
that,
many?
so-
3.
3 that official. Oh my god.
3 officially left. Some stayed, but were really in their hearts, they were really still.
So like no,
you
so
know.
but they were conservatives that even though they were still quote unquote Democrats because they had to remain Democrats to keep their seats because it was traditional and the people weren't going to turn their vote. They voted conservative for the rest of their fucking lives. Those Democrats, because you know, for most of the country, Joe, it wasn't split into like 2 like very divisive ideologies. It was actually several ideologies encamped into 2 parties, right? And you would have a lot of motherfucking liberal fucking Democrats. You'd have a lot of conservative Democrats. You'd have a lot of liberal Republicans and a lot of conservative Republicans. That's just kind of how things worked until recent times. The party flip was that, like, the traditional Republican who was more liberal leaning and owned the North flipped and became the traditional Southern Democrat. It was a process of about, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 election cycles, really, to where people got used to being and voting conservative, and then conservatives, you know, constricted themselves within the Republican Party, and liberals constricted themselves within the Democratic Party. This is history, but it even goes beyond that, because until Trumpism, let me finish my fucking point finally. I've been trying for an hour and a half. So let me finish. So
making a third point, but go ahead.
No, I'm finishing a point I started an hour and a half ago, literally.
Okay.
So all right.
I want to ask you about who's
beyond the fucking party switch, right?
Party switch.
Until Trumpism, Republicans themselves believed in liberal ideals, even though they were a conservative party. They weren't calling for the end of people's rights.
Let me ask you
they
about,
believed in liberal democracy. They had liberal ideals from a conservative perspective.
That's a third point. But let me go back to the first point. So you're saying that the switch was not the actual senators, like I would suggest, like most would suggest.
It was a consolidation.
Connolly, Goodwin, for example, the 3. Okay. So you're saying it was a mindset. The people themselves started voting Republican who used to vote Democrat. That's what you're saying, right?
No, that's not what I said at all.
Okay. So make your first point so I can address that. So, don't give me 16 points.
God,
and then
Jill, we understand it's very difficult for you to track.
So
yeah,
one party flip. The party flip.
It's called the Gish Gallop. It's okay. It's not an honest way to argue. Okay, that's why it's not an honest way to argue. That's why people forget what your first point was. Go ahead, make your first point so I can respond to that.
So the Dixiecrats, you know, this is American history. The Dixiecrats flipped. They were conservative Democrats.
Okay, now you're not talking about the prominent conservative Democrats switch from parties to become Republican. You're talking about
the South
citizens.
Has always been conservative. The North has always been liberal.
Who are you referring to? The people
until recent times.
Are you referring to the people living in these places or the people in Capitol Hill? Who exactly are you referring to? Be specific. We like details in Christianity.
Can't be this fucking stupid.
Both.
I mean,
okay, so both. Okay, so let's deal with the actual,
but not
prominent.
Not
ones.
both. That's wrong, because within those states, you would have liberal Republicans and conservative Republicans, liberal Democrats, and I mean it wasn't confined to 2 political parties like that. Not like it is now.
Okay, so you're saying that there was a movement within the Democrat Party, the Dixiecrat Party.
No, there was a movement within the culture of America. It was called civil rights.
Okay, and so during the civil rights era, what happened? People started voting more Democrat. People in the South started voting more Democrat. What happened? Tell me what happened. Explain the narrative.
Christ.
Give us the narrative, the false one, so we can debunk it. Don't just just give us a bunch of innuendo and say, "Oh, Jill doesn't know what he's talking about." No, you just provided a bunch of innuendo. That's what your scholarship does. That's all your scholarship does today.
So the conservative Democrats that didn't flip.
That's why you only survive in echo chambers. Go ahead.
The conservative Democrats that didn't flip with the 3 you're talking about only continued to vote against civil rights, against the party for the against it consolidated. It was conservatism versus liberalism. Now it wasn't.
Party voted for.
It wasn't no longer like
Rights bill.
two
What are you
parties
talking
with
about?
very large umbrellas.
The Republican Party has always voted for civil rights, always since its
No, it
inception.
didn't.
No,
not
it
in the
hasn't.
60s.
Not in the 60s.
No,
What
Yeah.
bill? What bill?
The Civil fucking
the
Rights
Civil
Act.
Rights Act.
Which one?
The Civil Rights
oh,
Act. The one passed in 1965.
1964. 1964, Title 7. Okay. So you want so let's look up and see who voted for the Civil Rights Act of 1964, right? Big switch, right? Who voted against it? All right. You can go to your Bible, Google. The civil rights. Would you like me to share my screen? The civil rights of 64 faced opposition primarily from Democrats, especially Southern Democrats.
Dixiecrats. Oh my.
Okay.
So
you go.
no, you're just it's
Here's
all
the-
bad faith.
The final Senate vote was 73.
I cannot control other people's bad faith behavior. Neither can you.
You're done, liberal.
It's just not something that we can do. I cannot control you, Jill. I cannot make you not be this stupid.
That's
and I
the
don't
problem.
think that you're this stupid. I think this is a character, right?
What's wrong? I was just reading what the AI overview was. What's wrong, liberal? Yes, led by
it's a
Senator
character.
Russell Jr. of Georgia.
You
The
cannot
final
control
Senate vote was
what other people do.
73-27, with the Southern Bloc comprising of 18 Democratic senators and one Republican Senator John Tower. One Republican senator. What happened to your switch? What happened to your big switch? It's a lie. It's the biggest lie ever told.
No,
The
it's a
biggest lie
talking.
ever
It's a
told.
talking point.
It is.
That's what
It
that's-
is, and we need to
You
stop
just
teaching
gave
it.
us a talking.
And if I ever hear
Didn't
anyone
you just
teaching it,
say that it was largely
I'm going to report
Democrats
them
that
to the
opposed
superintendent.
civil rights? Didn't you just say that?
didn't I say what?
That it was largely Democrats that opposed civil rights?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Not
those
Rep- not-
Democrats
not
and,
Republicans.
and those Democrats were liberal or conservative?
Well, when I say liberal and conservative today, I don't mean the same thing.
Which is not what I
even-
asked you. I
even
didn't ask
if,
whether you meant the same thing. I
Liberal
asked
back
the
then.
Democrats
can
that
I answer your
opposed
question?
the
Okay,
Civil
I won't answer your
Rights
question then.
Act
You won't get your
in the
question answered.
1960s.
You won't get your question answered.
Were they
You're not going to
largely
get your
liberal
question answered.
or
You're gonna
largely
cut me off.
conservative?
I'll mute and let you talk, and you
no,
answer your own question.
Well, no,
Yeah,
answer the
kinda
question,
don't
Joe, because
understand,
it speaks to
Well,
what
he's
I
not going
have
to let
been
me
talking
answer
about
it,
for
and
the
I'm
last
not gonna
20
answer
minutes.
his question. Let someone else ask the question. Someone else asked
You
the question.
weren't
I'll answer.
answering
Where the
question.
Democrats
Someone
have
else
voted
asked the
against civil rights, conservative Democrats.
What are you talking about a conservative Democrat today, as we would define it today?
I'm talking about conservative Democrats in 1964.
Okay, in 1964, conservatism.
And yes,
and-
how I would
Are you
define it
gonna Let
today.
me answer your question.
Probably a little worse and a little more
You're gonna
openly
allow me to
racist
answer your
in
question
64
with
than
different
today.
disease within atheism. That when they're talking to someone, when they don't like what they're gonna hear, they just overtalk. and
Dude,
ask
like
a
it's
question.
literally like
You
I've already
consistently get over talked because you consistently
I've-
don't answer questions.
and
I'm
I've literally
trying
put
to
up the
answer every
dumpster
time I go to
fire
answer
thing
you,
twice
start
now,
talking over it.
and I haven't been talking much.
Okay,
It's been all you, bro.
so conservative, liberal, Democrat, all of those things meant something entirely different than what they mean today. Okay,
Was that the
So-
question that you were asked?
so back then, liberal meant simply those who are trying to liberate people from bondage.
No,
Okay.
that's not. That's
So,
not what it meant.
For example, let me just give one example, and then I'll hand the floor to you. For example, the abolitionist movement would be considered liberals because they were liberating people from bondage.
Bad
Okay.
faith.
Now, today, I would not say that about a liberal because the things that they're trying to liberate us to.
No, notice how he's not
things
telling us
that
whether
are
the
not-
Democrats that opposed the Civil Rights Act
Hey,
were
you gotta let
conservative
him
or
finish,
liberal.
man.
Almost done,
He's going
almost
on
done.
about what this means and
I'm
what
almost
that
done.
means and not
Right.
answering
I'm
the
telling
question.
him that there's a way to define it based on the history, the context in which it's used. The word is used in a socio-economic or social context, a time where those words meant something entirely different. Words have a range semantically. So today, a liberal is not trying to liberate slaves. They're
Is that
trying to
what you were
liberate.
asked?
They're trying to liberate gays.
Is that what you were asked?
No, and
Oh, you
that's
like
what he's
that
been
one,
leading
right?
to the whole time he's been here.
Yeah,
So
I'll play
it's all bad faith. You
I
were
had that
at,
one
like
planned. I had that one planned.
you're not stupid. You're not stupid. Like you hear
do you see the
us,
difference?
you understand us. We're not speaking different
I
languages,
understand,
Joe.
but do you see the difference? Do you see the distinction? Okay, so when we say liberal, then it was a good thing. When we say liberal today, it's not a good thing. Okay, it's all about what are you liberating? What are you conserving? You say conservative. He's a conservative. Well, what is he trying to conserve? Is he trying to conserve the
my God.
Constitution? Is he trying to conserve prostitution?
Those Dixie
I
crabs.
can tell you the
It's a
party in
difference,
office
right?
right now is not
All
trying
right.
to conserve
Joe,
the Constitution.
so-
The Constitution
Joe,
is a
wait,
hindrance to
Christian,
their
Joe,
actions.
Let me
Jill,
just say this.
I
To
have
a
a question for
Christian,
you.
That matters. To a Christian,
Jill,
that matters.
Jill, I have a
Not
question
just the
for you.
label.
And
Okay?
it's Jill.
What are you doing with that label? Go ahead.
God damn, do you hear me, motherfuckers?
I do hear you.
God damn.
Yeah,
All right.
I do hear
Be
you,
a
but
human
I'm on the
being and
tail end
respond.
of making a good point, so you need to listen.
Listen to me. So ask I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And it's going to probably be like two parts. So don't interrupt me until I'm done, right? So those Dixiecrat seats that were in the South that
Mhm.
voted against civil rights, did they remain Democratic seats
Yeah, yes. To this day, and up
to
until his
this
death,
day?
John Berg. Yes.
To this day,
One
the
of the-
South is a Democratic powerhouse. That it was the Democratic Party that consolidated in the South, you're telling me,
Okay.
and
so
utilized the Southern strategy for 35, 40 years.
now, all right, there it is again. Southern strategy. Can you explain to everyone what the Southern strategy is?
It is the
Or what?
strategy that Mitch McConnell said that they had been utilizing for the last 35 to 40 years.
Okay, can you tell us what it is?
So more
Why don't
technically, the
you
Southern
tell me what it is? You're
strategy-
going to
the Southern
anyway.
strategy was a strategy by primarily the Republican Party and the post-Civil Rights Act United States to appeal to effectively to anti-African American racism amongst many, many conservative people in the South, because the North and parts of the South had become Democratic strongholds, and the Republican Party was like, oh shit, we need a way to like up our numbers. And so they started to appeal to a lot of the racial conservatism in the South to up their numbers, which is when the party switched, where the
Okay, hold on.
Republican Party went from being more liberal to more conservative by appealing to the racial conservatives in the South. And
whoa,
thus
hold on,
we
hold on.
saw
Hold
a
on.
mass exodus of those
Hold on.
Southern
He's
Democrats
answering you, Joe.
from the Democratic Party
Giving-
into the Republican Party, at which point more of the liberals started to align with the Democratic Party.
All right,
And we
hold
see
on.
where the two parties are
Hold
today, where the Democratic Party tends to represent more liberal values and the Republican Party tends to represent more
All right,
conservative
this
values.
is what we call in education just putting the meat on. There's no meat on the bone. Okay, it's a huge bone, but there's no meat on it. You started off by saying that they appeal to Southerners by doing what? Racial what? How did they appeal to the Southerners? That's important because if they
I
appeal
said
to,
how,
hold on,
through
hold on, hold on.
racism.
Hold on, let me tell you why this is important. Through racism, right? I'm going to debunk that. All right, in a second. It's important how, because the leftist narrative that he wants us to believe is that they appeal
Nothing
to,
I'm saying has anything to do with leftism. It's
okay,
just how
okay,
the
it's the
historians
narrative they
understand
possess
what
too.
happened.
They possess that same narrative and they're promoting it as well. Okay, I know
The,
because I
the
talk to young
truth,
black
yes,
people.
that's what
I
we're
talk to
doing.
young black
We're
people
promoting the
who
facts
critique
of
this
what
garbage.
actually
I
happened
talk to
in
young, okay,
history.
we're going to see if that's what actually happened. Just
It
like your
is
Southern
what
Twitch,
actually
right?
happened.
You couldn't prove that in the Senate. Now you're going to go to the people.
There's
amongst the
a
citizens,
very
right?
easy
You
way
have
to
to
prove
run
that
to the
they
citizens.
appear to their
All right, so let's
racism.
do that with the
And you
citizens.
can pull up the
Then you go to the
1960
vote.
electoral map,
Then
and then
you
you
go
pull up the
back.
1964
Still
electoral
there.
map.
Now let's run to the citizens now and see what they're thinking. Okay, so that person who is saying that you're saying that that person is flipping, or that they're using.
I haven't said
racial-
anything about a person flipping. I don't know
Okay.
what the fuck you're going
Okay.
off, but you are very clearly not tracking. what's being
Let's
said.
calm down. You said that they were using.
I am calm.
You said that they were using racial what?
They were
How did they-
appealing to the
appealing-
racial grievances of many
Okay.
white Southerners.
What were one of the
to
racial?
garner their support for the
Hold on,
political
hold
party,
on.
which they got.
I know you're good at the claims, but you're not good at explaining or demonstrating. You're good at making claims. What exactly was?
Well, here, let me just read
he's
from
afraid
Wikipedia.
to actually explain and
Phrase
demonstrate.
Southern strategy refers
No, no,
primarily
no, no, no.
to
I'm
top-down
asking you,
narratives
sir.
of the
I'm
political
asking you-
realignment of the South, which suggests that
I'll wait,
Republican leaders
and he's
consciously
gonna have
appeal
to address
to
what he
many
believes
white Southerners'
instead of just
racial
repeating
grievances to
himself,
gain
repeating
their
rhetoric
support.
like a trained
This
parrot.
top-down narrative of the Southern strategy is generally believed to be the primary force to transform Southern politics following the Civil Rights era. The scholarly consensus is that racial conservatism was critical in the post-Civil Rights Act realignment of the Republican and Democratic parties, though several aspects of this view have been debated by historians and political scientists. So it's exactly what I said that it was. The Southern strategy was the strategy utilized by the Republican Party in the post-Civil Rights era to appeal to the racial grievances of white racists in the South to garner their support for the party, leading to a shift in the ideological representations of the Republican and the Democratic Party, where the Republican Party became much more conservative and the Democratic Party became much more liberal. I have said nothing idiosyncratic. What I'm saying is not difficult to follow. As I have just stated, everything that I'm saying is thoroughly within the relevant scholarly consensus. You are just bloviating like an emotional leaf blower because you have no meaningful response to any of this.
I
All right,
concur.
so my question again is, you mentioned that the Southern strategy included tactics, or what you said that they were, or what was your wording again? I don't want to misquote you. You said that they were doing what again? They were promoting racial. How did they
So,
ensure?
Jill,
How did they promote this vote for the Southern strategy? What did they do exactly? Can
Jill,
you explain that?
can I
No,
talk
no, no,
to
no.
you?
He's gonna, no, sir. I'm not answering any more questions until he explains himself.
Well,
He just
I
spewed out a
just want
bunch
to
of
ask
rhetoric
you.
for 10 minutes, but never demonstrated anything.
I just want to
That's
ask
good
you.
enough for you? No, sir. I'm not answering any questions until he answers me.
I'm not. It
Give us
doesn't
an
pertain to.
example of something that was used to
Oh my
promote the
God.
Southern
You're not
strategy.
a human being.
Give us an example. I'll wait.
Are you
He has
human?
nothing. Nothing along racial lines. Absolutely nothing.
Are you?
That's why he's
human?
silent right now.
Are you human? Like, this is fucking insane. That this is
Nothing will be said until he answers the question. If he's
Well,
saying,
some-
if he's teaching,
Am I
the
not
idea
speaking?
that the Southern strategy
Hey.
included these things, give us an example. Otherwise,
I don't-
shut
I
the
don't
fuck
think
up.
my
if you're just
microphone
gonna
works.
just
Don't really care to hell
the
with
whole
the-
time though, you're gonna disregard what's agreed upon, established historical
not agreed
fact.
It's not agreed.
It
upon.
is agreed
If it
upon
were
by
agreed upon, he would
historians.
be able to give an example, but he hasn't. Give
And
us
then
an
what do you
example.
want an
He's given
example
numerous
of?
examples.
He did not give one example.
The easiest
example of
example,
what?
the easiest example of the start of the Southern strategy is pull up
I'll
the
wait.
1964, pull up the 1960 electoral map, and then pull up the 1964 electoral map. Go ahead, I'll wait.
Can I chime in real fast?
Yes,
Yes.
you can, Wilson. Anytime you can make it fun.
First of all, Knock, it's good to see you back.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Man, I just think my microphone just doesn't work. Yeah, go ahead, man.
I'm like, am I coming through clearly? Because my headset's kind of messed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you good.
Theo, Puff, good to see you.
Nice to see you after so long.
Jill, nice to see you. And I can't believe the words that are about to come out of my mouth, but on one certain argument that Jill made, I did kind of agree with him that, using the word conservative and liberal in this day and age, they don't mean much. If you have any like conservative views, you're a Nazi. If you have any liberal views, then you're a communist.
But that's just rhetoric. Rhetoric doesn't have anything to do with what the words mean.
I get that.
It simply means like the left consolidated behind the banner of the Democratic Party and the right consolidated behind the banner of the Republican
Tell
Party.
us how.
Mhm.
Tell us
Yeah.
how that happened, please.
Through the
Shut
Southern
up.
strategy.
Tell us
And
what the Southern strategy exactly was and
but
demonstrate it,
Jill,
please.
stop. We're answering
No,
Wilson
no.
now.
You
No,
stop
we're
with the
answering
rhetoric,
Wilson
bro.
now. Let me
You
let
stop
let
with the rhetoric. Give us a
So-
demonstration.
we already went through all
We're
of this. It
Christians.
started with a
Precisely.
cultural movement and civil rights, and then ended with an eventual flipping of the parties through the Southern strategy and the consolidation of political capital and power.
Mhm. Can you tell us exactly what that was? What was the strategy? What was the genre? What was the rhetoric? What was the
The
campaign slogan? Give us something. Give us
Southern
something
They
besides your
strategy.
mantras.
opposed the
please.
civil rights movement and
They did
and
not. I just
argued
told
in
you they did
favor
not oppose the
of
civil rights movement. You
y-
liar.
yes,
I just
So,
showed
yes,
you
in
that.
other
yes,
words, Wilson,
yes.
I
The
just showed you that the
conservatives, the
Democrats opposed
conservatives
it.
in the South,
Oh
and
my
that's who they were
God.
appealing to. The
Republicans
conservatives
voted
in the
for it.
South, like Barry
lone
Goldwater,
Republican
were
who opposed
opposed to the
was
civil
John
rights
Tower.
movement
I
and
just showed
argued
you
in
that.
favor of
Can you share my
continued racial
screen, Knock?
segregation. They
Can you share
also
my screen for
argued
me?
in
This guy's
favor
gonna
of
just sit
things
here
like
and
states'
lie.
rights and in
Like his-
favor of
like
a
his
smaller federal
school teacher
government.
did to him.
This is how they
I'm gonna share
appealed
my
to
screen.
the
Let me
white
just share my screen. Let's
conservatives.
settle this right here now. Let's share my screen.
So to finish
He's gonna sit here
answering
and lie like his teacher did to him.
to finish
You should have
answering
Jill
that
as a
is a
teacher.
lie.
You should have had
to-
Jill as a teacher. Sorry.
The
The
biggest point.
lone Republican. Share my screen, please, really quick.
to
the-
finish real quick, Wilson, and then you can go, just so I can finally finish answering you. So in other words, like when I say liberal, I can account for the change, right? Like that there definitely things have changed, but I'm talking about the political philosophies, and this is pre like major shifting of any current Overton window shifts or whatever. And I would even agree, like there's been a resurgence of what you would call like more leftism in America, but that was actually here at the beginning of this shift as well. It's just socialism was pushed away at the end of World War II. So that would be like my complete answer to your question before we were hijacked by the dumpster fire.
And I get that, and I accept that answer. Myself, I widely identify as a libertarian. Like I don't care what other people do as long as it's not involving kids or animals. If two dudes want to go get married, live your best life. But my big question for the panel is, Knock, you've been around for a while. Leo, you've been around for a while. Puff, you've been around for a while. We all know that you're never going to have an honest conversation with Jill. He's a troll. Nobody on this panel believes Jill when he says he's an educator.
No, that's too bad. That's too bad. So,
Well-
back to the actual conversation, which you could never participate in for sure, because you just don't have the intellect. So, can you share my screen? Can you share my screen for me really quickly? Not going to take long.
Who remembers that time that Jill thought that Chocobo University was a thing?
What?
That was one of the best trolls ever from fucking Dragnot, dude. That shit was
when you
legendary. Fucking legendary.
Which
when
never
you agreed
happened. Which never happened, actually.
Oh, it never happened?
No. Never thought that was a university. No.
Oh, you
That
certainly
wasn't,
agree
even in,
with
that wasn't even in the tape. No, I agreed on one of the last names of the doctors, which sounded like a doctor that I actually read up on.
Yeah,
But it
Genova.
wasn't. Genova, right. That's what I'm mistaken. Not
Right.
Dr. Genova from
But anyway,
University.
Anyway,
I'm gonna share your screen. I just want to warn everybody. Every time I've ever shared Jill's screen, there's science behind this. This is proven scientific fact.
God,
We
forget it. Just
we
forget it,
lose
Tom.
brain
Forget it.
cells. We lose brain cells. It's going to happen.
Okay. Civil Rights Act. This is a Civil Rights Act of 1964. All I did was Google who voted against it. Look, the lone Republican who opposed the bill in the Senate was Senator John Tower of Texas. One Republican. So you're going to have to do better, Leo, than they voted against the civil rights. That's the strategy.
Okay, so
was the
not-
you
that's
waited.
not what I
Wait a
said.
minute. You waited all that time to make the same point you made
Oh, God.
40
He
minutes
said
ago.
point
Point
Same
that nobody
lie.
argued
He
for.
went back to
Yeah,
the
it's-
same
it's-
lie. He went back to his
it's
horse,
fucking
you know what.
stupid.
He went back to his horse, you know what. So I had to come back with the same fact. The fact
You
checked
didn't.
him.
You didn't.
They did
you
not
didn't
vote
fact
for
check,
it.
You didn't
So
fact
give us
check
something
anything that I
else.
said.
What was the
You cannot
Southern
control a
strategy?
bad faith actor.
Give
You
us
just cannot
something else.
control a bad faith actor.
Give us some
Did you include the
policy.
fact that there was
Give us the
only
slogan.
4 states voted Republican in 1964?
Give us a slogan. Give us something other than your rhetoric. Something tangible, evidence
No,
of the
Wilson
Southern
left.
strategy. And I'm going to tell you why they switched, and it wasn't because of racism. It wasn't because of racial rhetoric or policies or anything of that sort, which you cannot provide. I'll tell you the real reason why they switched. It's the same reason why we vote Republican today. Because the Southern strategy was actually had nothing to do with racism. You were taught it had to do with racism. You were lied to. The South, and they were very smart to do this.
I was
Nixon,
down there.
Nixon and the Republican Party strategized to get the Southern vote by promoting family values, biblical values. That's how they did it. That was the Southern strategy, which was deemed racist because it appealed to white farmers. They're practicing the same lie today. They're saying, hey, if you make policies that appeal to a certain group, mainly whites, that's racist. So they called it a racist strategy, but it was not a racist strategy. The Republicans did the same thing in the 80s.
So
they appealed to white America, country America, peaceful living.
So they're not like,
They
you know,
appealed that type of living. It's not
So-
racist to do that.
Jill. So right now, like the entire Republican Party isn't consolidating once again behind this
And the
strategy.
evangelical
Let
right.
me
They appealed
fucking
to the-
finish.
They appeal to the even. Let me
let
just add,
me
they appeal to the evangelical right as well. That's a strategy, but it's not racist. Stop calling
I'm
everything.
going to take my
racist, Leo.
digital hands and strangle you.
You're half
All right,
white.
So are they not now trying to consolidate? Are they not now like denying equal opportunity for black people's voices to be represented in their states in an illegal gerrymandering effort? Are they not? Is
What is an
is
illegal
Iowa?
gerrymandering?
I think it's
That's-
Iowa that just like went back on its own redistricting and denying 2 districts. Like I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but it's all bad faith shit, dude. Can't you just be a human being and have a real conversation about this? Do you think we're ever gonna solve shit with this partisan fucking
You just gave me like six
drivel
shit.
of just
Which one do you want
regurgitated
me to
bullshit that
tackle
you hear
first?
on Newsmax? Like I don't know what you think.
Gerrymandering,
Like,
which one do you
you've
want me
been
to deal
doing
with
this for
first?
years. You've gained fucking nothing but a country
Yeah,
in
you hate
flames.
talking to men who will actually force you to demonstrate every point you make, and don't let you go through a tirade of gish galloping where I can never even address any of the points you made. You mentioned gerrymandering. Is gerrymandering evil? Is that illegal?
Yes, it's illegal how they're doing it right now. Yes,
It's illegal how the Republicans are doing it, but when the Democrats did it, it wasn't illegal.
there are laws. You're supposed to do it after a census.
There are laws that say you have to do it after a census.
Well,
What law is that?
Oh my fucking god!
What law is that? You have to do it after a census.
Like pretty much all of them.
Wow. Sorry.
Oh, can you show me the law? Can you cite the statute? Look that up. I don't expect you to have it now, but if there is a law against gerrymandering before census, 5 years after the census, what is the rule? What is the law? Do you know?
So are you gonna answer?
There used to be a law. There was a law against gerrymandering. However, it was struck down. So
Right, but Knock doesn't know that. And the Democrats have been taking advantage of gerrymandering for the longest.
Well, no, like Democrats.
No.
They're experts
Actually,
at it. I would
yeah,
say
it's a
they're
big
more-
negative. There goes
They're
Ryder.
better at it than the Republicans are. I would
Both
say.
parties gerrymander, but
That's a big
Democrats
negative.
have
There
more
goes Ryder.
safeguards against it. That's just truth. You're right about the law thing. So
You
but-
are definitely loving the post-truth era. I can tell that, Jill.
it's man, it's a hodgepodge, man. What you got going though? This is like old school Jill. I'm kind of digging it.
Hello.
I don't know. You're never gonna have a real conversation with anybody, are you?
I have real conversations every day with men just like you. Who
All right,
want
so
to be true, but can never demonstrate. They just keep repeating the mantras.
so what do you think about
I have
what do you
fatigue.
think about 2.7% inflation?
I have liberal fatigue. I have to tell you.
What do you think about 2.7% inflation right now?
Is that the inflation rate? That's pretty good.
That was the highest it was ever under Joe Biden.
2.7.
Yeah,
It's the highest we ever got.
You talking about consumer prices rising?
yeah.
Oh, okay. That's well.
What do you think about that?
There's a lot to that.
You're
cool less than
you're cool with it
expected.
now. You cool with it now?
That's less than expected amid the tariffs worries that you guys were having. Crying about.
Are you so you're okay with the 2.17% inflation?
I'm
right
okay
now?
with that 9 months into his term. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna judge him based off of.
So, like,
Against
how
the-
high can it go? How high is it allowed to go?
Not as high as it was under Biden.
It's already as high as it was under Biden. It's at 2.7%. That's as high as it was under Biden.
It peaked at 9% in June.
No, it
It
didn't.
closed out in 2022. It peaked at 9.1%. Sir, what are you talking about? Are you crazy or something? Are you guys watching the same? This is why I send Jay Pasek emails, because you guys are inundated with propaganda. You're not getting information. You're getting propaganda. You're getting the MSNBC feed algorithm. That's what you're getting. Inflation was horrible, man. We needed Trump. Without Trump, we might still be 9, 10 might be worse, 10%. Is that true, Knock? Did you fact check me? Look at his face.
Huh?
Oh man.
No, I'm trying to find. I'm trying to get to it, Joe.
Just Google how high was inflation in 2022. Just that simple. How high was inflation in 2020?
It's not answering my question.
For 2021. As soon as he took office, the stock market was alerted. Uh-oh. Stock market took because the stock market is primarily reacts to rumors and expectations, and they didn't expect him to do anything but fail. But the market adjusted.
The only thing I'm seeing about 9% with Joe Biden is that Biden falsely claimed Tuesday that the inflation rate was 9% when he began his presidency. I'm not seeing any 9%.
He was trying to make an excuse for why it was so high, and he lied.
No, when he began his presidency,
right, it wasn't
said
that high. He lied. Right, so he's admitting that it is at 9%. He's admitting it is at 9%, and he's saying, "Oh, it's the reason."
So,
why
like when
it's
he
at
very first started his presidency, it was like at 9%.
No, it wasn't. He lied and said it was, as you just read. He lied and said it was at 9%. When he started,
I'm asking you, it was like when he first entered office, it was at 9%, and you're
No.
attributing that to him.
No, it wasn't at 9% when he first started office. In June of 2022. No, he lied. Listen, Knock, you didn't even read what you actually read. How was I able to understand it when it's not even in front of me? He lied and said inflation was this way when I got here. But it wasn't. That is a lie. It wasn't at 9% when he got in office. It was much lower than that.
I know, like usually, like 9 times out of 10, when I actually look up the bullshit you say, then it turns out to be wrong. It's just for some reason.
I'll help you out if you don't know how to Google. I have it right here in front of me. Knock. If you don't know how to Google, if you don't know how to read your Bibles, Jill can help you with that too. Are you gonna share my screen or what? Let me share my screen.
I'm not paying attention to you right now.
You guys don't even know how to Google, but you want us to respect what you say about the universe, politics, things that are important, science.
There's nothing to share. Why did I flip over there? You don't have anything to share.
Oh, okay. No, you can Google this. Come on, you can do this. Come on,
2022
look.
inflation.
I do, we
6.5%,
do, you
actually.
do. Okay, I do, we do, you do. You got to do it this time. Okay, it's your turn. Leo knows what I'm talking about because he was in school 5 years ago. He was in high school.
I had my 10-year class reunion.
No, I think. All right,
How
so
high was inflation in 2022? Come on, I'm not going to.
I think Puff just Googled it. It was 6.5%.
So
it peaked at 9.
I had my numbers wrong. The 2.7% is what he went out on.
Right.
Yeah, I had my numbers wrong.
So the year ended with a 6.5 annual inflation rate. It peaked at 9.1
right,
as I stated. Okay. So no, the 2.7 is not bad.
I'll grant you that argument.
Compared to where we came from. Okay.
And it's anticipated to be 4% or
We've come a long way.
before the end of the year. So
We did come a long way from Trump's poor handling of COVID, which caused a variety of economic issues that were solved under the Biden administration. Yeah, that's
Trump's fault.
Yeah, we are now at where we ended with Biden. So I
notice so I didn't say anything was Trump's fault. Those words didn't come out of
his
my
administration handled COVID wrong, which led to Biden's inflation. I got you.
Handled COVID wrong were also not the words that came out of
What
my
is
mouth.
Bidenomics, by the way? Why didn't it work? Can you explain that, Leo, to the audience? What is Bidenomics? And why didn't it work?
Some word you just made up right now, I think. It's probably
this is the word the
you just made up. I don't care. I don't care what the administration said. What the fuck makes you think I give a shit?
What do you think?
Well, he managed to bring the inflation rate down year over year for 4 years. So
but that's what he meant to do.
Bring the inflation rate down from the 9% it started at.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what
he said. It start at 9.
6.5 the next year, and then lower and then lower and lower.
All right,
it was 9%. It peaked at 9%.
Whereas we're going to see this administration is just going to keep going up and up and up.
So what is the Biden economy?
Okay, Jill, can I please real quick just like give you some credit, because it's not very often when I actually do that and I look something up and you were right. So you were right and I was wrong.
I'm always
and I'm going to grant that. But my point still stands, and here's why. Because there's reporting from like pretty much I think I read this in the Wall Street Journal, but both sides of the political spectrum when it comes to news media reporting that companies so far have pretty much borne the brunt of the tax on the tariffs because they're afraid to apply it to the customer because they're afraid of MAGA's response to them. But they can no longer sustain that, and that brunt is coming in the coming months. So like once inflation does start skyrocketing underneath these tariffs, my initial question still stands. We never got to it. You were right. I'm not saying you sidetracked this time. Hallelujah. Miracles fucking happen. You were right. But
just
how high is it allowed to go, and how much are you willing to pay for let me finish. I'm almost done. I promise you. And then you can respond for a policy that has historically proven disastrous.
It hasn't been proven disastrous. See, when you read fake news, notice that the fake news will tell you what will happen.
The only time it was successful was at the very beginning of the country.
Let me answer you, brother. Let me answer you. Throw out. I mentioned you mentioned this phrase in your response. Throw out any article that says what will happen or what's expected to happen because of Trump's economic policies. Throw it out. Only read policy or articles or stories, reports, whatever you want to call them, that actually give you real numbers of what's actually happening. Okay, that's what I want you to show me. Show me a report.
Well, in real numbers, that
my
this prescription drug costs had doubled.
Not what they predict.
Well, no,
or
the,
No,
the
I'm saying
reports
real,
are.
in
Hold
real
on,
in
hold
real
on.
numbers.
I'm gonna
Mike.
land the plane. I'm gonna land the plane. Not what they forecast. What will possibly be, because they've been wrong several times over. Okay.
I gotta look at private chat more. So it's pretty much saying like they've borne the brunt of it up until now, but like we're gonna really start feeling that pain, and that's with like all the wish-washiness of like Trump actually implementing the tariffs, right? Like once it goes like full on and he implements all of them, then it's really going to be disastrous. I mean, pretty
Gonna
much
be
every
disastrous.
economist is saying this.
Fear mongering doesn't work. I'm a Christian. Okay. Throw away every news article that talks about what's going to be the case or what they forecast is going to happen.
No, they're talking to business
Show me
owners, and
something-
business owners are
show me
telling
some
them
real
this is
numbers.
going to happen.
This is going to happen. The business owners are
See,
telling
the problem that you're facing here, Knock, is that Jill doesn't understand because he's really fucking stupid and his IQ is lower than the temperature of the vacuum of space, that economic effects don't happen the next week. They happen the next year. So you implement some. So in some countries, somebody implements some economic policy. Economists will project what will happen in the future because we won't see the fucking effects until then.
Okay.
It's year, it's months,
projections.
generally years, a year or two out before you
Yeah,
really
I get
start
it. I get
seeing
it.
because this is how long it takes for that effect
You get
to
you.
spread
We
to
get
the
you, Leo.
economy and actually affect the operation of the economy substantially enough that we can see what's resulting from that.
We get you. Have these reports ever been false, determined to be false, or the predictions?
There's been inaccurate economic
Okay,
reports,
thank you.
reports that were wrong.
Thank
But
thank
I don't think anything turns out.
Oh, but you don't think that they're
At
wrong
least
here.
not that
All right,
fact
gotcha.
implicative.
Yeah, got it. They actually said the same thing about Trump's policy when he ran the first time, and they were wrong then. Okay, so a new report released Friday from the Congressional Budget Office is surprising, even stunning. Okay, we project that increases in tariffs implemented during the period from January 6, 2025 to August 19, 2025 will decrease primary deficits, okay, by 3.3 trillion if the higher tariffs persist for the 2025 to 2035 period. That's according to
Funny what happens when you
CBO.
fire the person that's going to print the real numbers.
CBO. There you go. So our reports are saying it's going to work. Projection.
Well,
Your projections are saying it's not. Who should we believe? I'm going to believe the ones. Now, I'm not going to believe your guys because your guys are always wrong.
All right, so
You've been wrong about Trump the first time. You said you projected he was going to fail economically, and you think you're going to be wrong this time.
So Puff's point is very legitimate, and I forgot what I was going to say with it. My head is hurting.
No, it's just funny to me what kind of numbers, what kind of reports you get when you fire the person that prints the real numbers.
The real numbers.
So let's
when they
say
printed
it's
the
true.
real job numbers and he didn't
How
like
do
the
you
job
know that?
numbers, he
And-
fired her.
And let's say it's true, Joe. Let's say it's true, and that does work, and it probably is going to because the tax. So you're depleting these numbers by taxing Americans. We're already paying higher. We see the immediate hike right back to Bidenomics 2.7%. It's going to get higher and higher and higher. That money that you're talking about, that's going to reduce those deficits, is literally the tax we're paying, and paying more and more and more and more, so rich people get those tax breaks, so rich people can make more and more and more and more. So even if it bears out like you're saying, which it might even be more, like it might be a complete raping of American society, because like you're acting like what you're saying would be a good thing. It's not. People don't have fucking money to begin with, and now we're gonna pay the deficits that like a fair tax policy would actually pay. Now we've got to pay it.
Yeah, I understand that's what you've been told, but I haven't heard any reports from the CBO.
That's the truth of it.
I put that report for you in the private chat. Again, all the fear mongering has been done in the past by your side, and you've been dead wrong. Okay, you were so wrong, and your reports were so false that you had to create new ones. You had to make up false reports about Trump just to get him out of office or get him excluded from the actually running again. Okay, so I'm sorry. You can never convince me that your projections are actually made in good faith. Not after you've lied so many times on so many different levels.
So you're cool with Donald Trump telling the DOJ what to do, for the DOJ to be directly following the orders of Donald Trump. You're okay with that?
The DOJ is directly following orders from Trump. The Department of Justice.
Do you like pretend that they don't?
Why is that against the law for Donald Trump to?
Yeah, they should not be following his orders. They're supposed to be a separate entity.
Trump, what orders did he give the DOJ that they
pretty
follow?
much everything since? Like, you're pretending that that's not a thing.
What order did he give to that entity in which they followed or executed? What order was that?
Let's see. The investigation into the Attorney General in New York, the Bolton raid, multiple.
Has Obama ever suggested, along with every president, has he ever suggested to the DOJ, the Department of Justice, who should be investigated? Has that ever happened in the past?
How about telling Pam Bondi, not to release?
Has that ever happened in the past? In fact, your president Obama created a fake FISA warrant, genius. So he's not even investigating someone. He's not getting a federal court to investigate.
Okay, so the answer is yes. You're okay
a lie, and then
the answer is clearly yes.
And then creating a false warrant.
All right, so clearly
yes,
you're
the president
okay
does
with
have the
Donald
power
Trump
to do that.
controlling.
I believe the
DOJ.
president should.
I get it, bro.
Yes.
I get it, bro. You're cool with it. 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 You're cool with it.
You gonna let me answer you?
You're cool with it. Are you cool with it? Are you cool with the United States military troops in the streets of American cities?
The president should be allowed to suggest to
fascist. Are you cool with American troops being in the streets of American cities?
I just think it's really funny, Knock, how if the National Guard had been federalized by the executive branch and then mobilized against its citizens under literally any Democratic president, Republicans wouldn't shut up about it for 1,600
I know.
years.
And that's my whole point. That's my whole point with everything is like, you're cool now that the DOJ is doing it. But you were
what
like,
did the DOJ do?
You were fucking yourself over the possibility of Obama doing anything, right? Like, so you're cool with American troops on the streets of American cities?
What is this established by? Are you establishing this as a norm that the president is not supposed to do this? Are you suggesting no other president has ever done this before? What is your standard, sir? You're making a moral ought.
You're cool with the military policing the president's political enemies?
Are you not have a conversation?
Are you cool with the military policing the president's political enemies?
You're making a moral ought. I'm asking a simple question. What is that moral ought established by? Is it a law or is it established by norms?
It's called the Constitution.
Okay, show me in the Constitution where the president cannot direct the Department of Justice to investigate someone. Can you show me that, please?
I'm now talking about. I am now asking you about troops in the streets of the United States.
Hold my hand. We're gonna walk together down the road of rationale. Okay. What is the law that says a president cannot do it? Otherwise, we need to go arrest Obama because he did it.
Do we got to read the whole
Biden because he did it? Because they all broke.
I'm pretty sure it's the Constitution that separates. I could be wrong. Maybe it's the Federalist Papers. I don't know where the fuck it's at. You're trying to pretend like
separation of powers is in the U.S.
Anyone can go to the DOJ
I do think
and
it's the
say, "Look, this guy is carjacking." Okay.
All right. Oh my God.
Anyone can do that.
So you're not a true patriot. You're not a true
It's
patriot.
what Obama did.
The answer is you are not a patriot.
Make up a lie about someone and then use the FISA courts, the federal courts.
Why? Do you recognize the political dynamic shift in the country right now to where now the left wing are the patriots and the right wing are the traitors?
if
Do you
a
recognize
citizen
that
Donald
dynamic
Trump
shift in the country that's happening
knows
right now, Joe?
that Hillary
Left-wingers have
Clinton
always
is
been the
lying,
true patriots.
she lies
Yeah,
under
I
oath,
agree, Leo. I agree.
and he says to the DOJ or to the Department of Justice that person needs to be investigated. I have no problem with that. That doesn't break any
Can
laws.
you be a human for 1 second, Joe?
break
Just a
any
human
laws.
being.
Jill isn't
Can
human.
you be a man
know
for
what
one
he is,
second
but
and answer the
it's
question
not
about
human.
established norms? Is this an established norm? A precedent that it's unprecedented what Donald Trump is doing? No, it's not unprecedented, and he didn't break any laws. You haven't provided one.
So like, tell me when Barack Obama ordered, his DOJ to go after like news media organizations that were like reporting badly about him.
Is he serious? He created a FISA warrant, a fake FISA warrant, when
You
Donald
just
Trump
keep saying
committed
that,
no
but
crime.
That doesn't mean anything.
Is that
It
the
doesn't mean
the question I
anything.
asked?
So you're saying that the meeting at Trump Tower didn't happen?
And you send
The,
a
the
FISA
meeting at Trump
warrant?
Tower didn't happen? Did
that to
the
the
meeting at Trump Tower happen?
Nothing to see here. But yet, when
Did the
Donald
meeting
Trump
at Trump
said,
Tower happen?
wow,
If it
I'm
did,
pretty-
then that FISA warrant was obtained legally.
And I'm pretty
FISA
sure
warrant
we've had
was
several
obtained legally.
convictions.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure we've had several
On what
convictions.
precedent? What was the law? What was broken?
Donald, all those people Donald Trump had a pardon because that were
Wow.
convicted. Remember?
Wow, you guys haven't heard of Spygate. You haven't heard of Obamagate because the mainstream media is not reporting it. It's just that simple. That's why you're ignorant on these facts.
You
Yeah,
are.
nope.
I think, Joe. I have to give you props. Like you are probably one of the most bad faith people on the internet.
Okay. People of bad faith make claims they can't demonstrate. You've made several claims tonight that you haven't demonstrated. You just keep repeating the claim. I'm trying to get you to demonstrate your claims. You won't. You can't. You did it with the Southern Democrats. You did it with the Civil Rights Act. Everything you promote and teach is all rhetoric. It's all based on propaganda and rhetoric.
No, everything was demonstrated. You just don't. You just keep talking.
Was there an abuse of the FISA warrant or the FISA court by Obama and Hillary Clinton? Yes or no?
No.
She paid for it. She was fined by the DNC for doing so. What are you talking?
For
Yo,
paying
what
for
do
a
you
FISA
mean?
The
warrant?
DNC is not any sort of
done.
formal legislative
Oh, my
or
goodness.
judicial branch of the government. So
Oh my goodness.
it doesn't.
So
That doesn't matter.
It's a federal court. It's an abuse of the court.
That's like it's like your bank penalizing you for
an abuse
for
of the
something.
court. Sorry.
Didn't the
DNC
FISA
isn't
warrant come
court.
from the
That's not
FBI?
what Dumbass.
Trump has never done
DNC is
anything.
the-
Wait a minute, Jill. So wasn't the FISA warrant? What am I? No, it would have been Obama. The one you're talking about. I'm thinking of a different one. Never mind. So the FISA warrant, like that was the FBI though. And back then we were under the
DOJ.
traditional norm of separation of DOJ and president.
The DOJ.
DOJ. So because it was Obama's DOJ, Obama must have ordered it. Your dictator does
He
it, so
found out,
Obama
yes.
must have done it too.
Found
Where's
it.
your
They
evidence
have
of that?
They have the paper trail. I can get you the reports. I don't have them.
Oh, you're talking about the Tulsi Gabbard bullshit. There's nothing new. And where's the arrest? Where's the indictment?
There's not going to be any arrest or indictment of Obama or Hillary. We've already know that. We already know they're part of the deep state. They're not going anywhere. Okay.
Well, I mean, Obama would be immune, right?
Okay, Brennan is not going anywhere. CIA director.
Jill, would Obama be immune?
Yes, they are immune. Yes. Unfortunately,
so he would be immune from any
yes,
prosecution.
So is Brennan. Yes. Yes, my guy.
So
they
is
set
who?
this whole thing up. This was a conspiracy
But
theory.
say that's not true though. Like
this was the biggest scandal in U.S. history.
But say that's not true. Say they
talk about Trump's taxes and his economic.
Say they had the definitive proof, just like you say they do, and all your faith as a Christian nationalist white man, right? So say it happens, right? Can they then prosecute Obama if they have the solid smoking gun evidence?
I'm not sure how that's going to work because I don't have all that. I'm just speaking.
Does he share the same immunity as Donald Trump as president of the United States?
I don't think this has anything to do with immunity because he wasn't president when he was participating in this.
No, when the FISA warrant you're talking about he was right. Like we're talking about the FISA. Are you not keeping up with the conversation? We're talking about the FISA warrant that he ordered his DOJ, right? right? Like you have the smoking gun proof that he ordered that and that it was illegal, right? Like and like could he be prosecuted? Could he be charged, or does he share the same immunity? Because official acts as president that Donald Trump enjoys.
He wasn't president when this happened. This was when Biden was voting or running, or Hillary was running against
Which
Trump.
Barack Obama was president.
No, he was not president, sir.
Who was
Well,
president?
Hillary was
Clinton
running.
He
Hillary was running against Trump, and they wanted Hillary to win. So they
She was running but she wasn't president.
created the Russia
Obama
lie.
was president.
I don't have a problem with you using the DOJ.
Jill,
Just don't use it for-
Obama was president when Hillary Clinton was running against Donald Trump. Right? So
This was
that FISA warrant that you're talking about was while Obama was president, or your argument doesn't stand. What the fuck are you talking about?
You're right. It might have been the 2019 DOJ.
Are you drunk?
Report. Okay. The Pfizer court. I think they might have found. I'll have to go back and get you whatever the case may be. I don't think this has anything to do with any type of immunity. But they knew the FBI knew in 2019 that it was all a scam, but yet, they continued to push this lie, this Russia scam.
See, it's like it's just all bad faith. You're not a human being that listens.
I'm listening to you.
I think it's why it's still undetermined whether or not you're a white man, because you're just a bot. That's all you are.
I'm listening.
You're an NPC. You're an NPC. That's what.
But what I'm trying to get at is how you guys have all of this energy for Donald Trump and his policies when you're staring at the biggest scandal in U.S. history. The
What's
abuse of a federal court to promote your political stance or promote your political party or your political.
The fuck are you talking about now?
Colleague, I guess you can call it, comrade. Really, there.
No, he's trying to say that the meeting at Trump Tower didn't actually happen when it's documented it happened.
What meeting?
Trump's own son even said something about it. Kushner said something about it. We know that there was a known foreign state actor at that meeting with them. And we know that it happened. That's where they got the basis for the FISA warrant.
Yeah, it was a 19-page order. Comey,
We know that
McCabe,
because they admitted to it.
they were dishonest, right? They concealed from the
No,
court.
Trump's own people
of all-
admitted that the meeting happened. That's how they
What
got the
meeting
stuff for the warrant.
This has nothing to do with a meeting. Okay, the meeting was just a front. Okay,
No,
if I
that
go
was
to
where
the
they
store-
obtained. That's where they
I'll wait.
obtained information against against Hillary Clinton's campaign.
There's no information in the meeting. So if I go to the store and then you say, well, he went to that store to buy drugs. So they're using the meeting as evidence that I went to that store, to that meeting.
If when you went to the store,
Okay,
someone handed
so
you
yes,
a
there
briefcase
was
full
a
of
meeting,
drugs, then
but
yes.
just having a meeting is
Like
not
when they went
enough
to the
get
meeting
a
and they
FISA
handed them
warrant.
a briefcase
I'll
full
wait,
of
'cause I'm not afraid of
documents.
what you have to say, but you obviously are afraid of what I'm saying. So go ahead.
If
So-
when you went to that store, they handed you a briefcase full of drugs, then you went to the store to get drugs. Just like when they went to that meeting, they handed them a briefcase full of documents on the Hillary Clinton campaign. They went there to get the documents.
All right, so having a meeting is not enough to create an entire warrant for someone's arrest and indictment. Okay, indictment.
You missed the
and arrest.
part where they got a
Oh,
briefcase
oh,
full
here's
of
the problem.
documents.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'll wait. I'll go ahead. If you're not done, I'll wait.
You missed the part where they admitted to getting a briefcase full of documents. That's where they got the warrant, because they admitted that they got the documents from them. They're that fucking stupid.
Now, this was a small group. This wasn't the entire FBI. So when we say FBI, we mean Obama's FBI, okay, or Obama's CIA, Brennan and certain McCabe and James Comey, okay, and they were dishonest. Okay, it's a small group of FBI agents who wanted Hillary to win. They concealed from the court the fact that Carter Page worked for the FBI. They omitted the fact that Carter Page had been honest about they altered documents. Basically, they altered key documents. They hid the fact that the FBI determined the Steele dossier was not credible, that it was biased. They covered that up. Okay, they covered up who paid for the information. The 2016 campaign of Hillary Clinton and the DNC, they were fined for paying for the Steele dossier by the DNC, a couple $1,000, $5,000, believe it or not. It's laughable, just slap on the wrist. But they were fined. You're not allowed to do that. Okay, you're not allowed to cover up information.
Wait a minute. So you're talking about like 20% of the dossier was like unverified. The unverified part of the dossier was like never disproven. It's just you can't prove it because it happened inside fucking Mother Russia, right?
Not
like what the fuck are you even talking about? Like, but I'm not even saying like. So I'm not even saying that Donald Trump was an asset of Russia, although I think he probably is. What I am saying is Russia definitely influenced that election, and Donald Trump definitely tried to steal the 2020 election. And I'm pretty sure, like, didn't he just steal the 2024 election by getting the richest person on the planet in the entire planet to invest like $500 million into his campaign?
Blue Anon, calm down.
I'm sure that's totally like, you know,
try to skip over your wickedness.
That's small government, right? Getting the world's richest man to buy your campaign to pay for your campaign.
We have actual evidence. You were being dirty. You're only giving me what will happen or what you think will happen, what you think might have happened. I'm telling you what happened. Okay?
The gospel of Jill. The gospel of Jill.
This happened. The Trump Russia hoax
this
happened.
is the greatest thing that Dow teaches human beings is you cannot move in an immovable force. You know, like Jill is an immovable force because he's a bot.
I'm not going to be moved by rhetoric.
It's documented that the Trump Russia collusion happened.
Trump Russia hoax. Okay, it was a hoax. It was phony, made up.
No, when they have multiple meetings with known state actors and they admit to it, then that's a Trump Russia collusion. They're fucking idiots. They admitted to it.
Russian oligarchs is not against the law. It's not against international law. It's not against our law. So please stop with the rhetoric. Let's get to the bottom of this. Now, 2016, the Clinton campaign paid for the dossier. The fake dossier that was
who paid for it? Who paid for it before Hillary Clinton?
Hillary Clinton paid.
Who had it before Hillary Clinton, Joe?
No one had it before Hillary Clinton. They did. Invented it.
No, Hillary Clinton didn't invent it.
2017. In 2017,
Christopher Steele hired by somebody else that was running against Donald Trump.
Of course, there were characters in the dark we don't know.
No, we know who did it.
I'm not reading a spy novel.
We know who did it.
I'm just telling you what the facts that
you have all the knowledge, right? Like I'm pretty sure it was like Ted Cruz paid for Christopher Steele to make that dossier, right?
I'm not speculating.
And then Hillary Clinton took it over when Ted Cruz proved to be Ted Cruz.
Reports say Trump's gonna fail. Let's talk about what is.
Are you gonna address what I just asked you?
Are you gonna address what actually happened?
Yes.
Okay, in 2017, did not a judge determine that the Steele dossier was a phony?
I don't think
so. The basis for the Trump Russia hoax is the Steele dossier. Did a judge not determine that it was a hoax? It was made up.
I don't think so.
And they being Obama, did not shut down his FBI, did not shut down the investigation or stop the spying. Instead, they accelerated it. True or false? This is all documented. I can provide you reports for all of this. Everything that I'm saying. You can't provide anything but projections, forecasting. Trump's going to fail. Trump's going to be a dictator. Fear mongering. I'm telling you what actually happened. Why do you fight against actual facts for innuendo and rumors? because you're liberals. That's why. And that's how God made you, believe it or not.
So the fact check in an interview about the special counsel's report, Representative John Ratcliffe said that what started all of this was a fake, phony dossier, but a House Republican Intelligence Committee memo said it was information about a Trump campaign foreign policy advisor that sparked the FBI's counterintelligence investigation into Russian interference in the election. Ratcliffe, all right, so dossier was not what started all of this. All right, so that was a fact check on that wrong fact check.
Did you pay close attention to the fake news that was infused into that fact check? Were you paying attention? Can you read that again for me? I'm going to show you how to determine what fake news is if it kills me. Okay, how do you determine what is fake news? Read that again slowly, line by line. Go ahead, start again. Read that again. Read it again. It's a fact check where they are admitting that they are wrong.
So from
but at the same time,
no, I'm on a different level now. I'm actually finding where your statement comes from. For you, so your statement comes from the Carter Page FISA warrant, which you've been harping on about, that the Steele dossier was found unreliable in 2017. See, wordage is important, Joe.
Unreliable. That's what I said.
Unreliable, right?
That's what I said.
Unreliable. That's not like what you were saying, though, right?
Unreliable.
You weren't saying unreliable.
I said not credible.
No, you were saying that. No, you were saying that it's fake and it was bought by. I don't know.
And not credible. Yes.
Well, no, unreliable means that maybe
okay, look,
it was an unreliable start. It was an unreliable start. Oh
look, it's wicked. You cannot excuse it.
Are you going to answer me?
If the Republican Party did this, I would not be supporting the Republican Party.
All right, so I think we clarified that. I think I don't think you got it.
Any party that engaged in this, any party, this is the most wicked thing you could possibly do to anyone and their family. Wicked, 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 and you can't defend it. Okay, you can't defend it. It happened.
You distracted me. I can't remember what the second thing I was going to look up now.
Talk about what you think Trump's going to do to retaliate. Well, guess what? If I were Trump, I would retaliate also.
Like, man, you are on a roll tonight, man.
I'm a Christian.
Did you eat your Wheaties this morning?
And I believe and he has to believe that they also tried to kill him 3 times. He has to believe it's them.
Do you hear other people talk?
Created the fake FISA warrant. The same people who
doesn't hear other people talk
for his book that he was writing. The same people, and tried to suggest he had some sort of top secret document.
Why are you like this as a human being?
Which did include information that was top secret, but it's still another.
You can be better.
You know that this was all a hoax. Everything
I believe in you.
Just to stop Trump. Everything they're doing now is to stop Trump.
One day you're going to look back and you're going to laugh at all of this.
Trump's own inspector general determined that the FBI did not use the Steele dossier to obtain any of the warrants that they got against Trump. So
I would like
sucks to be on record.
So I could teach you guys how to recognize fake news.
No, it's on record from the Trump administration. His own inspector general said that they didn't use the dossier to obtain any warrants. So
right. If he reads that again, I'm going to show you how they finessed you. What they did was they said no.
I want to rewind. I want to get your verbiage,
like really quickly, because you're not going to share your screen.
Are you going to say? Are you going to admit that in 2017 the Steele dossier wasn't found to be a complete and fucking utter phony?
To respond to that, please. Just give me 30 seconds.
Now I got to share your screen again, Jill. Like, you're making me work, dude.
Remember my analogy when you go into the store and you come out and they say, "Oh, you bought drugs." Okay. What they did was they said, "No, the reason why we investigated him wasn't the dossier. It was the fact that he met with an official."
He doesn't stop talking.
Okay.
Though.
So they're saying, well, he met with an official first. That's
people here,
which led to the warrant.
Jill just say dossier.
Yes, and Paul Manafort did meet with a Russian official.
Did he just hard R the word dossier right now? This dumb fuck.
But it's kind of enjoyable. It's like
Okay, so that's what they did. It's a trick. It's like saying, "Hey, I saw you talking to this guy. He's a known drug dealer. Therefore, you sell drugs. Let's create a FISA warrant now, and a Steele dossier and a FISA warrant framing you for selling drugs." What? Come on, man. You can't defend that as an atheist. You cannot defend that. I hope.
as an atheist,
I hope you have some
atheists have to do
morals
with that.
left in you. I hope you have some morality
God.
left in you.
Like it's the
After
Gish
all,
Gallop.
that's
It's a Gish Gallop that never ends, man. That's what it is. It's this one giant
Tell me-
Gish
tell me
Gallop
that's not
that
wicked.
never stops.
Please tell me that's not a wicked act, and I'll leave you alone. Okay, you don't like someone. Let's just be honest. They don't like Trump. They see him talking to a drug dealer. They say, okay, we're going to investigate him. And they create a fake dossier with information that he never did. He never visited this place. He never went to this drug house. But they create this narrative about him being this super drug dealer. They take it to a court and say, look, judge, we need a warrant for his arrest. Please tell me in what universe that's not wicked. Please tell me in what universe that's not wicked.
So Donald Trump never
That's
had
what
been
happened.
in Russia.
That's what happened. He met with a Russian oligarch. Let's say you meet with a drug dealer. Let's say you meet with someone for a reason other than selling drugs, but you meet with them. I say, okay, I'm going to create a story about Knock being a drug kingpin.
I already admitted, like they couldn't prove what the dossier said happened in Russia. I admitted that.
This is just a hypothetical. Okay. I see Knock talking to a drug dealer. Now I know he's not talking to him about drugs, but hey, it looks bad. So I'm gonna create an entire narrative, the Steele dossier, which tells about Rage going to Mexico, working with this drug kingpin, going here, sleeping with prostitutes. Right. So now I'm messing up your marriage. I'm messing with your marriage now because I'm saying you're sleeping with prostitutes in this dossier. Right. You're sleeping with Russian prostitutes. You're sleeping with the cartel prostitutes. You're doing all these things. So then I take that to a FISA or a warrant or a court, a federal court, and I say, Judge, we need an indictment or we need this person to be indicted, and they indict him.
It's funny how he says dossier, but instead of saying indicted,
don't concentrate on how I
he
say
can
dossier.
get that one right, but he can't.
Don't
can't get
concentrate
dossier
on.
right.
I know
It's
you're trying
fucking
to
hilarious.
I
Jill,
know
did you know it's actually pronounced indicted? You indict somebody?
You indict someone. Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to indict your wife. What?
Oh, gosh, very good, very good, very good. All right.
I don't even know if you're married. No, that was just a joke.
I know. All right. So in what universe, Knock, is that okay? Please, before I go to bed, I would like to sleep. I would like to have a sweet sleep. Please
Jill,
give me some hope. Please give me some hope for the atheist community. Please tell me in no universe is that good. Is that okay? Is that okay to do that, to do to someone?
To do
make
what?
up
You've
a
been
lie
talking
about
for
him
an
sleeping with
hour.
prostitutes. Do you believe he slept with 13 Russian prostitutes? Do you believe that actually happened?
Probably more than that.
Yeah, I can see it happen.
Oh,
I could totally see Donald Trump doing
Are they
that.
all in the same room together? Come on, man.
I mean,
Come on, man.
you say Russian
Guys, you still
prostitutes.
believe
I'm
in
saying like
10
handpicked
years later,
Russian
you still believe in this
escorts,
stuff.
picked because they know what Donald likes. I could totally see that. Yeah.
Okay, so if someone were to do that to you, Knock, would you not want revenge?
Huh?
Would you not want revenge if someone were to do that to you? They see you talking to a drug dealer. You both go to the same day.
You think that's how assets work? You get to get revenge.
I know
You get
that's
to get
how the
revenge
Pfizer
on people that
war.
outlawed you?
I know that's how Obamagate went. That's
You
why I'm
think-
giving you an analogy. I'm making it personal.
So you think
Because
if Donald Trump is an
dealing with-
asset,
unless
he
you're
doesn't
dealing with
get to get revenge
psychopath,
on Putin?
if you make it personal, unless you're dealing with a psychopath, if you make it personal, sometimes we
In
might
fact,
see
if Donald Trump is an asset,
empathy, sympathy,
he
whatever
would
you
take
wanna
all
call
of
it.
Putin's
But it
like
doesn't
jabs
get
and
us this
insults
year
when
in
he
this
won't take
atheist
it from
echo chamber.
anybody else in the entire fucking world.
This is
Would
wickedness.
he dare
This is
allow
why the Bible
insult
says
the great mighty fucking
is
Donald
why the
Trump, except
Bible
for maybe
you will
Netanyahu.
suffer in the same eternal flames as Satan. Because
Man, I wish I had it in me to talk and talk
When
and
you
talk
were
so
put-
nobody else can talk. And so
Because-
it can't actually be a conversation. Like this
When
is
you-
like I should kick you. I've been just like kind of waiting for the moment to kick you because like this can't be a conversation when only one person talks, Jill. This has been this is the Gish Gallop of Gish Gallops that I've ever fucking experienced in fucking 7 years of YouTube
It
now,
was a
dude. You have
hypothetical.
beat
It
the
took me a
cake.
while to get it out. I'm
Beat
sorry.
the fucking cake.
Okay,
It has been
hey,
it has
Knox.
been verbal
It's a
masturbation for fucking 2 hours, dude.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
Knox,
kind
you
of.
know what used to always make me laugh is when John would talk about somebody gish galloping, but he would say gish gallops
Oh yeah,
instead of gish gallop. I'll be
Okay.
right back. I gotta run to the store and get a gallon of milk.
In what world is that okay, Knock? Is that
Is
okay?
what okay? You talked for 2 hours, dude.
Okay, do I have to repeat the hypothetical again?
No, not if it takes 2 hours.
Okay, give me 2 minutes. Can you listen this time?
I'll try. I
I'm
can't
probably
promise.
not going to. No.
You are
Yeah.
seen talking to a drug dealer who happens to be a drug dealer. You're not talking about selling
A
drugs.
drug
okay?
dealer who happens to be a drug dealer.
See, this is why it takes me more than 2 minutes.
This is the
I have a
false
cat.
equivocation
I
already.
have a
but all right,
cat.
let's go.
No, I just wanted to say I have a cat who happens to be a cat.
Puff's
Yeah, you
gone.
just I can't.
I thought you had to use the bathroom. Let me
Wait,
talk to
who?
Knock without any interruptions. All right, so you're not dealing drugs with him. You're not in partnership with him. Okay, you were
Yep.
talking about soccer. You both of
I
you
understand.
have children on the soccer team, whatever the case may be. I take a picture of that. I create an entire dossier or an entire file where I have you visiting countries with this person. I have fake photos. I have fake hotel receipts that you visited hotels. So now I'm messing up your marriage because I'm saying you're
All
sleeping.
right,
with
I do
13
got to bounce though for real
Okay,
because
see ya, see ya,
my
Leo.
boy Mark
All right.
Reed is about to take on Jim Bob. Good
Oh
old-
wow, I gotta
good
see
old-
that.
Good old.
Where's that
good old
happening
Jam
at?
Bab. On the Raging Tomato. They're going to be dating Evolution.
All right.
And that's
Oh, I'm
starting
there.
in about a minute or so. So I'm gonna pop
man.
on out of here.
Yep.
I'm
Thanks
there.
for coming in, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
See ya, Leo. All right, so let me. Do you get the hypothetical so far?
So I'm selling drugs with a dude.
You what?
Selling drugs with a dude.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're not selling. Oh my goodness, you're not selling drugs with the dude. Okay. You're just talking to him. You have a meeting with him because you both have children on the same soccer
Okay.
team.
But he
Okay.
sells drugs.
The meeting, yeah, he happens to sell drugs, but you're not involved in that.
Okay.
Because I don't like you, Rage, I'm going to take a picture of you with this man. I'm going to, in addition to the picture, I'm going to include you receipts forged, which have your name on it. You staying with Russian prostitutes in hotels. I'm going to create an entire package, the dossier. That's what the Still dossier was. Making up stories, events that never happened to try to tie you to this drug dealer and his drug dealings. Okay? Are you with me so far?
Like I said, I'm like agnostic on whether or not like he's actually an asset of Russia. I don't fucking know, dude.
Are you with me so far? Whether he's an
Okay.
asset or Russia doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You
Alright.
still don't operate this way. This is wicked. If he's an asset of Russia, prove it on real, actual evidence, not made up evidence. If you're an actual drug dealer, prove that you actually sold drugs. Don't just show me a picture of me with a drug dealer or having a meeting or talking to a drug dealer and suggest, got him now. All right. So now that I did all of these things, I created the dossier showing you in places you were never at, basically lies about you, to try to frame you as this drug dealer. I then go, because I'm a very powerful person. I can take this now to a FISA court, to an actual federal court, and have a judge basically come and arrest or indict you. Okay?
Okay.
Would that be considered wicked? Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. I can go to bed now and rest in peace because there is some hope in the world.
How do you know that's what happened to Donald Trump?
That's what the reporters show. That's what. The
What report?
I'll have to get you. I will. I promise you. If you give me a wrench, I'll put it in the side chat. But if not, I'll put it in the comment section when you're done.
Why can't you put it in the private chat now?
Because I have to research and look it up. I don't have it with me. But it's a 19-page order. Okay.
Okay.
It's his name is Judge James Boasberg. I'll put it in the chat. Judge James Boasberg. Okay, that's the FISA court. That's the appeal. This was certainly appealed, and they found that everything they made everything up.
Well, I mean, Carter Page was pardoned. It wasn't appealed, right?
I don't know what happened to Carter Page.
He was pardoned. And what you're talking about is his case.
Well, Carter Page worked for the FBI, but when the FBI brought their case to the FISA court, they concealed from the court the fact that Page worked for the FBI. They omitted Carter Page's information, and they altered documents. So they hid the fact that the FBI.
So where are you getting all of this from, though?
The reports that I've read over the years.
More reports that you've read
that was taken down. Actually,
like what reports? I mean, I'm just wondering, like, where are you getting all this information? I don't seem to have.
Well, again, Knock, there's a lot of information you don't have because your algorithms are set to only give you and feed.
My algorithms are actually like my algorithms are kind of fucked because I haven't really done any of that. So like it's kind of messed up. It looks
they follow you. Even if you get a new computer, they'll follow you.
So they'll put they'll put the leftist algorithm in my computer.
Google is watching you every move you make. Okay.
Google. So Google is they.
They are tied. They have ties to the Democratic Party.
So what you're saying is when you make a statement like that, right? Like they'll follow you and put it in your computer. I utilize the Google search bar, right? And you're saying that what is being tracked. I would probably agree with you because like Donald Trump has done this like massive fascist takeover. And I do now have like all of the tech bros from Silicon Valley trying to pump me extreme right wing propaganda through all of my algorithm feeds. So I would probably agree with you. But like 4 years ago, that wasn't the fucking case.
Okay. What we're talking about now, right?
Well, you're the one that somehow said they were following me and you were talking about fucking Google, Jill. Like, do you even hear yourself sometimes? Seriously.
Google is your Bible, okay? I advise you use it, okay? Do you know what
Dude, I've been using it this whole time. That's how I was able to tell you finally after all these years that you were right for once, god damn it. Like, you're the one that needs to really start utilizing this shit, dude. Everything you're saying is just complete.
I told you to Google
I'm going to end up calling this stream. I'm going to end up calling the stream the Gish Gallop. This is the greatest example of the Gish Gallop fallacy that I've ever fucking seen in the history of the existence of my life.
Okay. Do you know what exculpatory evidence is?
Sure.
You know what the Brady, what's called the Brady material? It's evidence. The U.S. Supreme Court decision, Brady versus Maryland. It's evidence that potentially is helpful to a defendant in a criminal case. So, in addition to everything I said, okay, this is the worst.
Okay, I'm following you, bro.
I'm
coming down the rabbit hole.
They also held that type of evidence, meaning they held deleted evidence that would exonerate Trump from this 13 prostitute exhibition he went on somehow. Like they totally tried to frame the man. Totally.
They tried to frame the man. If they tried to frame the man,
how could you still support that? To this day, you still support that party. If someone
Right,
tried
so-
to do that to you, you would
So-
turn back into the raging atheist.
So was it okay for that very same FBI to investigate Hillary Clinton through that entire presidential campaign?
Why shouldn't they investigate her? She lied.
Because you're sitting here bitching about them investigating him.
No, sir. If you commit a crime, or if you lie under oath, which is what Hillary did,
Was Hillary Clinton convicted of a crime?
lied about her email.
Is Hillary Clinton does
Hold on,
Hillary
we're talking
Clinton has she been indicted
investigating-
37 times on felony counts?
We can get to that. Oh, we're gonna get to that if you have
Is she
time.
a 37-time
Whoa.
felon?
Whoa, wait a minute, bro.
No. See, you don't see your own hypocrisy, Joe.
You haven't gotten past 2016 FISA abuse.
We're talking about the very same
Why
campaign,
are
the
you
very
trying to
same
fast
FBI
Why are
investigating
you
both
trying to
presidential
fast forward?
candidates. You're cool with one, but not the
2024.
other.
Hold on, bro. I didn't say I was cool with the other. You're trying to jump to 2025. We're in 2016.
That's where I'm at.
Okay, no, you're not.
They were
You're-
investigating Hillary Clinton. Do you not remember like 3 days or it was like 2 weeks
Why
before
would they invest? Did they create a still fake dossier with fake
Like,
information?
James
in it? Yes or no?
James Comey literally came out
Sir,
and
you answer
now
the question,
and won
sir?
the election for Donald Trump in 2016. What
I
we're
said
talking
this
about.
20 times.
I remember it clearly.
I said this 20 times. Can you listen this time? I have no problem with someone investigating another political opponent. I have no problem with that. What I have a problem with as a Christian is when you make up stuff about someone and then go to the courts and say investigate them. That's what the Steele dossier is. Okay.
But again, so the Hillary Clinton thing,
Hold on.
the
Before
Hillary
I
Clinton
go
thing was a
forward-
contrived
before I
conspiracy
go
by the
forward-
right wing.
No,
They
it's
had
not a
so
conspiracy.
again, did you have a problem when Condoleezza Rice was
deleted-
using her own personal private server as Secretary of
deleted-
State, Jill?
She deleted.
No, you fucking didn't. Don't you
30
fucking lie to me.
deleted
Didn't
her-
your grandmother ever tell you what you know not to fucking lie to people?
You should not do that. That is, and then when you delete your emails and lie about it, you're showing yourself to be
So
deceptive that you were doing that.
you are just one big bad faith.
So it's
actor,
not an
dude.
investigation on a fake.
I can't no more,
dossier.
Jill. I can't no more.
done.
We've been
That's
going, Jill. We've been going all motherfucking night. I'm done, bro.
You
So
are
I want you to have a final say before
you are done.
I'm
You
done
are
with you.
When
I
you
have
think
I
so-
have to go. I have to go. So
I
I'm
know
gonna
you
give
have
you a final say,
Your party has to go.
dude.
Okay?
It's
You
it's,
have to go.
it's way
all right?
past. All right, whatever.
But yeah,
Your
it's been-
final say.
it's been fun. We could do that. We could do this again next time. And I'm going to leave off where we stood, where we left off. You're not going to run away from what they did to this man. And you're going to have to admit that what they did was evil, and it's not in no comparison to investigating Hillary, who actually committed crimes. Sorry. There's a difference between someone committing a crime and you investigating and going after them hard because they're your political opponent. You don't like them. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, that's dirty. That's politics. Great. You cannot create a fake story about someone to get them prosecuted. Huge difference. The fact that you sat here and tried to conflate the two only shows that you're part of the problem. And I'll catch you next time. God bless you all. Jesus loves you, including Doubting Thomas. He loves you too, Doubting Thomas. Okay. He wants to see you repent of your sins. This is a sin. Voting and supporting Democrats is a sin at this point. I think I'm safe in saying.
I thought you were gonna say goodnight, and it just didn't happen.
Come to Smokey's channel. I think he's live tonight.
All right, bro.
Yeah, come to Smokey's and get another. beat down.
Maybe I will if I can,
Catch another intellectual.
reclaim my sanity.
All right, see you. God bless.
All right, man. Okay. Wow. All right. I don't know how to and I'm not claiming like any factual like where I could be wrong. As far as I know it, and this is how, like, and I could totally be wrong. All right, so Ted Cruz decided he was in trouble with Donald Trump. Like, nobody really thought, like, Donald Trump would have a fucking chance at ever being president of the United States. Like, I actually existed in 2016 and I can remember it, right? So, like, nobody, like, not Republicans, and I'm going to turn my camera back on for this. So, like not Republicans, not Democrats. Like, when Donald Trump first came down that great golden escalator and he paid all those actors to be there and all those reporters to be there, you know, like nobody was like, thought it was a joke, right? It was a joke and it wasn't going to last. And then at some point during that campaign, when Ted Cruz, like, you know, should have been the guy, right? Like, he was literally an asshole in Congress, so much to the fact that everybody hated him. And he was like the perfect candidate for the Republican Party at that time. And holy shit, Donald Trump is just like somehow making sense. And we finally figured it out 8 years later. It's called brain rot, and half the country got it from watching Fox News, right? So Ted Cruz got like super fucking like, and I guess there's a possibility it was Rubio, but I think Rubio was just too far out of it. Like, Ted Cruz was like the only real, like, you know, and like Donald Trump was just eviscerating everybody. And Ted Cruz was just like fucking panicking. He's like, I can't fucking beat this guy. And then Donald Trump starts talking about his fucking wife and shit, right? Starts talking about how ugly his fucking wife is and how Ted Cruz is a little bitch and how Ted Cruz is like grandpa killed fucking Kennedy and shit. Like, crazy stuff, right? And I'm not making any of this up. I'm not making up any of this. This fucking happened. I know, because I existed in 2016. I was there. I saw it. I saw it transpire with my own fucking eyes, right? And then Ted Cruz paid Christopher Steele, a known MI6 operative, and up to this point, always like a trusted operative, right? Like, he is pretty good, especially when it comes to getting information from inside of Russia. So he starts compiling what is actually known political practice throughout pretty much all of American history, which is like politicians are dirt bags. Like, George Bush was especially good at this, like, you know, just pulling out the dirt on your opponents and not really caring if it's necessarily true. Like, he just obliterated John McCain. George Bush Jr. did. Like, it was fucking just brutal, that fucking Republican primary. I know, I existed back then. I remember it, right? So, you know, then Ted Cruz just realized he lost. And oh my God, he has to capitulate to the dude that was just literally telling him that his wife was a fucking dog, yo. Like, your wife is so fucking ugly. I mean, it was pretty fucking pathetic. We still laugh at Ted Cruz to this very day for that fact. Like, I actually get personal enjoyment when I think of Ted Cruz actually getting on his fucking on those telephones to fucking phone bank for Donald Trump, who had just like not like 3 days earlier said like, yo, your wife is like dog ugly. Right? I remember, I was there. I existed in 2016. Right? So Hillary Clinton, who thought she had it in the bag, even though this like punk ass Donald Trump, who was like her former like bestie, right? Like, they were all like really, really tight way back in the day when they were just like raping the American people, you know? So, you know, she had this shit in the bag. Like, Trump ain't serious. In fact, like, she probably actually bought into the fucking some of the bullshit that was being said. Like, maybe Trump like did all of this just so Hillary could win, right? Like, there's no real competition. Like, they were that tight way back in the day. You dig what I'm saying? And so, and then Donald Trump like survives Pussygate. And it's like, what the fuck is happening here? And then Donald Trump like literally tells people like, I could literally like kill a motherfucker and I'd still win the presidency. And like, people like were like really like, maybe he's right. Like, this is really different, right? Like, this is like Barack Obama in 2008, but in the exact opposite way. Like, this is really fucking weird. And so she was like made aware of this dossier. Like, it was probably Ted Cruz trying to like find some like fucking semblance of a human soul, right? Like, dude just literally called his wife like bitch ass fucking ugly and shit. And Ted Cruz was like, Hillary, Christopher Steele has some shit for you, right? And then she did what Hillary Clinton does, and why she probably needed to lose that election to anybody else besides Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bernie would have been nice. And they got a dossier that they verified about, as far as I know, like 85% of it. 15, like the part that happened inside of Russia, they can't verify it because there's no way to verify it. And like, but I don't know, when Jill asked me, like, can you imagine Donald Trump having sex with 13 prostitutes in Russia? Yes, I can. So, I mean, that's pretty much my opinion on it. Is Donald Trump an asset of Russia? I think probably. Do I know that? No, I don't. I don't think the facts buried that out that we can say we know that. But I mean, sometimes you have to just make your own conclusions in life. And it seems to be bearing out that he pretty much favors Russia in all things, and unless he needs to appear tough every once in a while. But, reality is reality, and the Gish Gallop is the Gish Gallop. And this was the Gish Gallop of all Gish Gallops. And with that, we're going to end this evening. I appreciate you all watching. And holy shit, Jill does it again. Y'all have a good night.